outside and like have entire like conversations.
Ooh, hello.
Hello, chat. Can you hear everybody? Can you hear Damiani?
The
Oops, we're on top of the.
the notification Twitch alerts is below the cameras. Can you just bump up the layer or put
Thanks,
it
Jesse.
top right.
59 months.
Nice.
Hello.
Block Gabby with it instead of us.
GTA 6.
Ow.
GTA 6 chat.
GTA
Lou bro, thank you.
2025 going head to head with Avatar 3.
Every day is one step closer to GTA 6 and Avatar 3. Every day. Every day we wake up, one day closer.
Thanks, Lou, bro.
That's true.
So that's movie, that's game.
Yep.
We need a megaton TV show happening. And
Dude, it'll be like
2025.
House of the Dragon final season or season 3 or something.
Lost is coming back.
Game of Thrones season 8 being redone.
Remade.
Oh
If
my
anyone
gosh.
spoils God of War for me,
Watch that.
we're never gonna be friends ever.
Oh god.
Don't look at me.
Okay.
I bet you he gods of war.
Yeah. So yeah, we got some goodies to go through first. Yeah, the Tekken jackets that we got.
Where can I put it? Don't let me move
Don't
the
move
Twitch
the
alert.
video. Move
Put it
the
just the top
alert.
corner, one of the top corners.
Put it top right.
Top right or bottom left.
So then we're gonna let Don deal with this
Top
first. But yeah, we got this bad boy here, but you can't see too well from afar.
That is my favorite
that a
soundtrack
Batman?
in 5 years.
Brad's coming over to assist.
5 years.
Oh, you
It's
don't even,
probably locked and placed on.
you haven't heard the DLC music yet.
I know.
That should be cool.
It's even better, Damiani? Are you serious?
Well, so glad I got to stream. I mean, it won't matter to you because
Sick.
you haven't played this in 14 yet, but there is a 14.
Okay. So a little bit of bias.
Gaming with Nocto, 15 months. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Nice.
Logitech cameras just suck, so I'm blown out. That's how it is.
I guess there's more than one, but I think I only heard one. But like even the regular music they did, the new music is just like
Whoa!
Jabwebs,
Good.
10 subs.
Jabwebs.
Thank you.
Yo,
Thanks, Jabwebs.
Jabwebs every day.
Blood, hold that to the camera up a little.
Yeah.
Well, that's
please.
what I'm
Please.
waiting for
Please. Get it in there.
Don's
the
full
person
screen.
to get the camera in.
You want me to zoom in?
Oh yeah.
Zoom in on that.
Don, you gotta move the volume thing off
Zoom
my
in on
face.
that puppy.
First off,
Look
we
at
got
this.
this Final Fantasy 16 soundtrack,
Good grief.
direct from
First
Japan.
off,
So beautiful.
lower it.
Good grief.
It's very nice. That Abano artwork on
That
there.
art, yep.
Easy 10.
It's beautiful.
Easy 10 out of
Yeah,
10.
very clean, pristine.
Don will get it. Don will get it, chat.
Somebody tell Don that we're blocking. We're
He'll get it.
blocking
Don will
by
get it.
digital,
It's fine.
Don's got it.
digital world.
Everyone,
The digital
we love you.
world.
Oh, that.
All right.
Look at this.
Man.
I hope
There it
you...
is, a little
Blood,
cleaner.
Blood, you're making me nervous.
That's quality.
When's the last time you washed your hands? You're making me nervous touching this.
8 minutes ago.
Okay, perfect. Look at this. Look at this
5 to 8
shine.
minutes.
Look at the shine on this. It's like a new car.
This was definitely one of the classic Bloodworths. We got something. He is snagging that
Oh
bad
yeah,
boy.
Bloodworth loves
Oh,
that
yeah.
move.
He is
The
taking
blood
that.
snag.
He rarely does it,
He
but
rarely
when it's
does
like
it.
an A+ item, it's you don't even have an option to
I would-
bid.
He's
Where
like,
we going
oh,
here,
I know
Don?
it's mine
Yeah,
already.
you don't even have an option. It's
Yeah.
just done.
Oh, it's got all the.
It's just done.
It's-
Track listings. Oh, they got lyrics in here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, got
Ooh.
those lyrics.
Oh yeah, they usually include lyrics in there.
What's it smell like?
It doesn't
I don't like you
smell.
breathing on it.
like
It smells
much.
like a mother
Hot
crystal.
bread.
Yeah, we got some art.
Ooh.
I got
Nothing from Silken.
the soundtrack for Sea of Thieves, which is 3 records, and it has like a storybook and
Oh, look
pop-up
at that.
stuff on the
That's
records,
cool.
Nice.
like ships. It's really cool.
You're smelling every page.
Just saw a picture of Joshua. Oh, did you show the front of the CDs?
Yeah, I'm getting to that too.
Baby.
Look at this.
Yeah, so we got this side here.
Are
We got
you kidding?
What's it?
Ooh,
Phoenix
it's,
and
it's,
Ifrit.
you see the rainbow? It's like
Whoa.
Yeah.
holographic.
Yo, Phoenix
or
and
whatever.
Ifrit or Naruto and Sasuke. Like
Oh,
we're that
the
levels.
camera still
They're
has
not-
the chroma key on it.
Oh no.
They're not I wouldn't say it's Naruto and Sasuke.
Guess it's like Goku and Gohan, maybe.
Don, just right click on
Can't hear
the
you,
camera
Alex.
source and go to filters.
Brad,
Okay, we'll tell him to
Brad's
do what
getting
I'm
it.
telling him to
Brad's
do.
I don't know what they're.
This side.
What's
Trunks
the matter?
and
Like,
Gohan?
can you just tell me what's the matter?
Well,
Go to
Right click.
I don't know. I don't want you to do 10,000
So
things.
many
10,000 things.
ways that this opens. There's the discs. Found the discs.
10 out of 10.
Just delete the chroma key filter.
Delete the chroma key filter.
Thanks, you.
Wild. Great
I don't know
stuff.
what the fuck that is. What
Dawn's
is it?
got it. Give him a sec.
Right
Give him a
click and say
second.
filters.
Dawn does not have Shadow Clone Jutsu. Just give him 1 second. 1 second. He's
You right click on the
he's
video
not even at the
source.
computer. 1 moment. 1 moment.
Okay.
1
Give it a
moment.
bag later. All right, now we got this guy.
This guy.
Thanks, Don. You're a wizard.
Alright, hold on,
Holy
let Don
crap.
do this.
Oh.
Okay, Dawn is
Terminator
is
8,
at
let's
the computer
go.
Now. Dawn is
Terminator
at the
8.
computer now. Relay information now.
Okay. Right click on the video camera source and go to filters and then just delete chroma key.
This is where the game would be.
It's there
No
from
game yet.
Trash Babies.
Blood, you reiterating the patrons
There you go. Thank you. Good job.
top 10 list of dysfunctional families. 10 out of 10.
Check out that clip I put up.
Bloodworth legitimately reiterated to them. You don't get cooler than that, Blood. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, Dawn, did you get a jacket?
Yeah, he got all this stuff. Here.
Yeah.
Yo!
Don got a
that
Tekken
Jin?
Are
jacket?
these cards?
Yeah, there are cards there. Little pack of cards.
Wow.
This is sick.
Jin. Fighting style, karate. Rage art, polar demon gouge.
Jin.
Polar demon.
This side.
Some player cards. It seems like it's just the cast.
Big cast.
Yeah.
Yo, is Kuma in 8? I forgot.
Yeah.
Sick.
Kazuya. Yeah, I'm not gonna show them all, but yeah, just the player cards.
Sick.
Yeah, that statue's pretty big, man.
When was the
Yeah.
last time you washed your hands?
4 minutes ago.
Oh wow.
That's not true.
I was just in the bathroom right before the stream started.
Uptime, chat.
That
Uptime.
was.
Session 9 minutes 23.
All right,
Catch him
9
in the
minutes,
line.
9 minutes. Same difference. Right before we started.
H Bomber guy is gonna make a video about your washing machine.
A 3-hour video.
Apparently, he said he washed him 4 minutes ago, but he had been sitting on
There we
stream for 9 minutes.
Did he wash his hands?
Yeah.
You bet he did it.
Whoa.
And what's crazy?
Dang.
Yeah.
Winged angel.
Specimen.
There's a cable here. This thing lights up somehow.
Oh, cool.
I
It's
gotta
got-
figure out how to light it up.
Light it up.
Is USB
Light
chargeable?
him up, light him up.
There's no plug.
There it is.
Oh, there is. I see the plug.
Let me see. Let's see if we can get the Xbox to light them up.
I hope Zombie Heihachi.
Gabby said there was no plug.
Did do we have Don on the mic?
Yeah, I'm
Listening.
on the mic.
Salad Mike is in the other room.
Oh,
Yo, what?
Don, I
Yo,
gotta
is this
ask
a
you
Sephiroth
something.
nod?
I hope this isn't about the Cowboys.
It is a
Is
little.
this a Sephiroth nod?
Hold on, one thing,
Oh,
one
there we
conversation
go.
at a
It's a
time.
little
The
bit.
little 8 in
One
the front
conversation at a
lights up.
time.
Just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Or more
It's
conversation.
kinda lame.
That might not be it. It might just be.
Maybe it's charging.
Yeah, what if it builds up and it like just totally lights
One
up?
winged angel starts emanating out of it.
Like the wing starts
then it
glowing
melts.
and sparks.
Yeah.
I think the wing might light
What
What
up.
does it
yeah.
say on the bottom? T8?
It does say
There
8
is.
Just
things
says
down
8
there, but
instead
it's like
of,
a
like-
chain.
Yeah. That's a good design.
I'm gonna leave it hooked
That's
up just in
weird.
case it does light up later.
I love it.
That's
And
pretty
then-
badass.
That can't be the only thing that lights up.
I was gonna ask
Because
Don
there is
about
like there
Mahomes.
is because when you put the wing
Oh,
in,
he's pissed about it.
when you put the wing in,
Mm.
like there's like a metal
Oh.
connection.
Whoa. Blood, you're making me so nervous.
It's a
What?
good question, Damiani.
Dude, shrapnel.
He was criticizing the refs.
Dirty your hands.
Dirty my hands.
Is that like a sweatband? Arm
It
sweatband?
takes
This is a
lot
little,
there,
pouch.
Damiani.
pouch thing.
Yo, I love those pouches.
There's something.
This
in
is
it.
like Marathon Man, dude. Dustin Hoffman's got diamonds in this thing.
It is a ring, I think.
Deepest.
It's
cut.
called acting. Try it.
That
sometime.
ring is
Ring.
enormous.
Tekken ring.
It's just Tekken ring.
Holy
That's
crap.
badass.
Zoom in on
Dude.
that, hold on.
That's
Someone
badass.
Hold it up. Hold it up.
Just a little lower.
Dude. Wait.
Lower. Lower.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
I'm trying to catch it on the.
There it is. There it is. There it is. You can kind of see how cool it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an 8.
It's kind of like a brass knuckles, but for a ring.
Mess someone up with that.
You'd probably break your own finger using that.
And then we got this awesome. Let's see how to open this.
Oh, it is resizable.
Oh, nice.
Resizable ring? That's crazy.
Oh no, it just has to like. It's not closed.
Resize?
Oh, nice.
So you can make it smaller.
Here we go.
Oh.
And then the arcade token.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Cast it into the fire.
I feel like you could use this as
No.
a seal or whatever.
Oh,
my
sure.
God.
Put
Yeah, that
some
kind of thing.
With like blood wax on
ink
it.
on it.
I
And
love that shit.
sick.
Blood
See if
wax.
Don can get a zoom in on this too.
Or like red. Because I feel like a king seal isn't like wax. It's like something special.
No, it's wax.
It is just wax?
yeah.
Normal wax?
I think it's
Or ink,
wax.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, most people beside the king probably couldn't afford wax. I
Got
don't know.
it.
Special wax like
I love that.
I don't know.
Yeah, seal wax is different than
Oh, yeah.
candle wax. So.
Got it.
Seal wax. There
Yeah.
it is.
There we go. That's the stuff that's in the Tekken 8 Special Edition. That's
Nice.
not Tekken 8.
Nice.
Pretty sick.
Woo!
Here you go, Blood.
Thank you.
Made from 100% organic seal.
Nice.
Sick.
And next up, we gotta read our fan
Oh shit.
fiction.
Settle in.
This.
So, if you might recall, one of our
I hate
one of our
this.
incentives was to write a fanfic to ship a couple of characters that were picked by the community.
Very excited.
Remind them that they picked the character.
They picked.
Yes.
They picked the characters. There was a poll, and the poll.
You freaks.
The poll came out.
You
To,
sick freaks.
Isabelle and Doom Guy.
Slash.
The original
Doom Slayer.
Barbenheimer.
Yeah. Are they different characters? I
The
forgot.
original Barbenheimer. That's
Yeah.
true.
I
But
think
the-
Doom Guy becomes
Yeah,
Doom Slayer, or vice
but
versa.
Doom 3 is in an alt universe.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
interesting.
Only
Yeah.
3?
Yep.
Okay.
Good to know.
High kill count.
Put the kids to bed? Question mark.
I did instruct everyone to be Twitch safe, so.
You could say some crazy stuff on
Yeah.
Twitch without violating TOS.
But we will see. We will see. I ended up. We drew the cards. I ended up with the first, so I have no idea what happens after my part.
Yeah, I don't know what happens after mine.
Yeah, I only read up to my
Same,
part
same,
too.
same.
I'm second to last, so I read almost everything.
Nice. All right. We good? We ready?
Yes.
What is Don
Do we
doing?
have a title for that? We should have a title for this.
All right.
Blood, it's on you.
That's the last thing to do.
the last
Which
thing?
is, yeah. So now we
Don
can do
knows
the
not
something
title.
happening over here. Okay.
Blood, it's on you to title it right now
What is
on
Don
the
doing?
spot.
He's
He
plugging
doesn't know the
things
whole
in.
story though. Damiani should title it.
True. Damiani, it's going to be up to you to have a title for this. Because you're very last.
Why? I ended it.
Exactly.
Yeah, because so you read the whole thing.
You're the only one who
Yeah.
knows
You're
the
the only one
story.
who knows the whole
But
thing.
don't spoil us now.
Okay.
No, just when it gets to you, Damiani, when you finish, title it.
Okay.
Right now, officially, it's just called Isabelle and Doom
Yeah.
Guy.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't read this for weeks.
I did not
We're all
proofread
gonna
mine,
read
by the way.
the section that we wrote, by the way, if that's not clear.
Okay. Isabelle finished up her afternoon announcements. Don't forget, there's a meteor shower tonight, so be sure to get out there and make all the wishes you can. She turned off the PA and shuffled the day's unfinished maintenance requests into her file cabinet. As the twilight faded, she found a dark corner of town where Celeste had settled in to watch the night skies and laid out a picnic blanket to witness the sporadic streaks of light that come so briefly and unexpectedly, even though you're brimming with anticipation. After several minutes of silence, Celeste observed, "Mars is looking particularly bright tonight." Isabelle turned her focus, and indeed the planet's typical reddish hue seemed more vibrant and alive than usual. After an hour or so of otherwise uneventful stargazing, Isabelle started packing up. It's getting a bit chilly. I think I'll gather my star fragments and then get a warm cup of chai at the roost. Thank you for the company, dear. Walking along the beach in the dark, she collected several of the glowing jewels from the sand before noticing a vague figure ahead, laid out in a depression as if it had fallen from a great height. Gulliver, is that you again? What have you gotten yourself into this time? As she approached, though, rather than finding a bundle of soggy feathers and a sailor's cap, she came across a large suit of green armor with a mirror-like helmet hiding their face. She took the person by the shoulder and gently shook him. He rolled over with a muffled groan, but didn't respond any further. Let me get the nooks, she muttered. They'll know what to do. The trio of successful business owners arrived, and Timmy came up with a plan. For now, we could bring him to the human's house to recover. That guy filled the place with weird knickknacks and came around for a few holidays, but we haven't seen him for 14 months. Tom added, They still owe me for the last renovation as well. It was decided, and with the help of several townsfolk, they carried the soldier to the human's lavish bedroom. With some further effort, they managed to remove him from his shell and get him tucked in. He was unlike any human Isabelle had ever seen before. Most humans she'd known had short, stubby bodies, with chests that remained adorably round, no matter how much time they spent digging holes or chopping wood. This man was tall, extremely tall, with hardened, defined muscles, and patterns of scars that were hard to explain. Over the next few days, Isabelle and the other townsfolk took turns nursing the human back to health. She brought him soup and coffee and relayed the results of the latest fishing tournament. One day, as she handed him his coffee cup, the fuzz of her paw brushed against his calloused knuckles, making her hair stand on end in a way that mere caffeine couldn't explain. Throughout all this, the soldier never really spoke, merely acknowledging Isabelle's kindness with a nod or a soft grunt. After about a week had gone by, he was sitting up and wandering about the house, looking at the collections of paintings and sculptures left behind by its previous owner. Isabelle found him examining a forgery of the Mona Lisa and said, You seem like you enjoy nice things, and you're feeling better. Let's get you some fresh air and find something to help you pass the time. The soldier bent over and started assembling his armor, to which Isabelle interjected, Oh, don't worry about all that. We're just going to the library. The soldier paused for a moment, but then continued to get suited up. After walking through the town square, passing by two bunnies who stared with mouths agape, the stoic figure ducked through the library's doorway and followed the yellow dog inside. So, what kind of books do you like? Sci-fi? History? Romance? Sorry, I know you aren't ready to talk, so you can just follow me and put your hand on my shoulder if you want to stop. They wandered the aisles of shelves crammed with brightly colored books. He stopped to look at a few space magazines, but otherwise allowed her to continue her tour uninterrupted. Then, as they rounded the back side of the building, he stopped dead in his tracks. What is it? Isabelle asked. He approached the bookshelf, filled with hefty encyclopedias, and shoved it aside as easily as if it had been on wheels. Behind it was a door, and a staircase leading down. All right, Brad.
Okay, it's my turn. Isabelle was shocked. She had spent a great deal of time in the library over the years and thought she knew it from the inside and out. What is this? How did you know about this? She nervously asked. The soldier said nothing and began walking down the stairs. Despite the confusion and anxiety Isabelle was feeling from all of this, she quickly composed herself and followed him down the staircase. As they made their way down, thoughts began to race through her mind. Who is this human? How did he know about a secret door here? Did any of the other villagers know about this? She had so many questions she wanted to ask him, but for now she decided to remain calm and see where the staircase would lead. Once they reached the bottom, a giant store door blocked the way. On it was a giant mural of animals fighting alongside a green figure. What were they fighting? She had no idea, but they looked terrifying. As she was studying it, the mysterious soldier approached the door and placed his hand upon it. An unrecognizable symbol began to glow red on the door and then faded. Standing in anticipation, Isabelle remained silent, waiting to see what would happen. A bead of sweat slowly ran down her face, and time felt like it stopped for a few moments. Suddenly, the sound of a click could be heard within the door, and it slowly began to rise. The soldier walked in, and Isabelle followed closely behind. The room was dark, and Isabelle couldn't see anything. Suddenly, torches lit up in the room almost as if on command. In the middle of the room was an altar with a sword handle upon it. The soldier walked up to it and held it in his hand, and then suddenly a giant glowing red blade appeared almost out of thin air. Upon it were the runes she had never seen before. As the soldier held the sword, a voice suddenly came from behind them. "So, you finally returned." They both turned around. Isabelle's great surprise stood Apollo, a fellow villager. Apollo moved closer to the pair and said, "I didn't think this day would come in my lifetime." He then saluted the soldier and said, "It'll be an honor to fight alongside you, sir."
For reference, Apollo is an eagle.
Yes.
Apollo's the eagle. Oh.
Yeah, he's like one of my
Yeah.
favorite villagers.
Isabelle watched in stunned silence as Apollo walked over to a metal locker in the corner of the room. The modern green locker looked very out of place in this ancient stone chamber of torches and runes, but what Apollo removed from it was even more startling and unexpected. Armor. Armor that looked almost identical to that of her silent human friend. Except this was fashioned to fit Apollo's avian form. Isabelle looked to the human, hoping for some kind of explanation, or at least some familiarity in this odd and frightening place. Instead, she found the man gazing at the glowing red blade, eyes barely visible through his helmet from the hellish illumination. She did not like what she saw in those eyes. A determination, yes, a fire, a thirst, but also a sadness, deep and defeated, like he did not want to do what he thought he must. "Apollo," Isabelle said, "just what is going on here?" Apollo turned to her, standing tall in his armor, helmet clutched in his wing. "For generations, those in my line have trained so that if the Slayer ever returned, we would join him in battle upon the flaming shores of hell to rid the universe of all demonic presence." "Slayer?" Isabelle said quietly to herself. Is that this human's name? The name or title did seem to fit him. His massive size and imposing demeanor were those of a warrior indeed. But despite his fearsome frame and many, many scars, Isabelle knew that over the past days she had seen another side to this strange, silent human. She knew there was a softness within him, a kindness. The way he held his mug, gently cupped in both hands as he sipped his coffee. The way he smiled, in his way, whenever she entered the room. There was a depth to his eyes which revealed a depth to his spirit. And she knew she wasn't imagining it. She knew she wasn't injecting what she wanted to see. Or maybe she hoped she wasn't. Because it was true. She did want to see it. She couldn't deny she'd been lonely these past years on the island. She did her job, did her daily announcements, fished in the tournaments, watched the stars. But there was something missing. Something that she had felt that first day her paw had touched the skin of this brooding mountain of a man. A charge of something more potent than desire, more substantial than simple lust. An understanding, a knowledge. She turned to her strange human, to the Slayer, and pulled on his hand so he gently took a knee in front of her. Placing his helmet just above her eyeline, she reached forward to the clasps on either side of his helmet. "Okay?" she asked, before undoing the mechanism that would release his helmet. He nodded. A simple motion, yet somehow imbued with trust, and she thought, warmth. Slowly, Isabelle removed his helmet and placed it on the altar to her right. "When I found you on that beach, I thought you were dead," she said quietly. "And over the last week, I've found myself looking forward to my turns to come sit with you. It's the highlight of each of my days. And I think maybe you've liked spending time with me too. I don't know if you don't speak because you can't or because you won't. But I find whole conversations in your eyes. I feel like we've said everything in a language without words. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a foolish girl. Maybe I've been on this island too long, and maybe this is all just in my head. But I don't think it is. I'm just going to ask, do you feel it too?" His eyes were fixed on hers, those two deep pools, as radiant as the stars. Eyes which she knew, without knowing how she knew, had seen wonders and horrors beyond anything she could ever imagine. Without realizing it, she stroked a scar which ran down his cheek like a violent river, long since run dry. Her gaze was locked on his. His eyes filled with warmth and tenderness, microscopic changes in his rugged facade, but she could read them like a morning announcement. He nodded. He felt it too. Isabelle's heart leapt in her chest, and she tried to fight a smile with a stoic nod of her own. Well then, she said, standing and walking over to the locker, you have two choices. Either you stay here with me, we live a simple life, we watch the stars, we learn each other, and we see where this goes. Or, she pulled a shotgun out of the locker and turned to face him. I'm going with you.
Jeez.
The Doomslayer hadn't felt these emotions in more than a lifetime. Brief glimpses from memories long buried try to rise to the surface, yet the only thing he knows how to do these days is rip and tear until it is done. But seeing Isabelle pump the shotgun awakened a desire buried for centuries. A lust for flesh.
Oh my god.
Suddenly he had something to fight for and a reason to live beyond his eon's age mission. He nodded in approval and lifted her onto his shoulder. It will be an honor to die with you both, Apollo said, with a newfound menace in his eyes. I've waited my whole life for this moment. Everyone thinks I'm cranky and bitter, but I was just carrying the burden of hell on my shoulders. I didn't want anyone to worry. We're not dying today, Isabelle stoically declared. I don't know much about the demonic presence of hell, but I know the power of bonds is the strongest force in the universe. The Doomslayer was used to working alone, but a power was beginning to surge through him like these old green invulnerability orbs he used to pick up. Isabelle's body resting on his shoulder and her positive attitude somehow felt more powerful than a BFG 9000. What was this feeling? This power? The trio moved further down a spiral staircase into a small hallway lined with flaming red torches. Apollo approached an old terminal and slid a red key card into it, and a door hummed to life on the far side of the room. My old man used to guard the portal to make sure no demons would get through, Apollo said as he approached another terminal and began to tap keys. One time a few squirted through, but it was nothing he couldn't handle.
Dude. How to use that word?
After a few more taps on the terminal, a fiery portal slowly revealed itself. The room suddenly became much hotter as intense heat came from the other side. The trio looked at each other with strong resolve and newfound purpose in their hearts as they stepped into the unknown depths of hell itself to face whatever nightmares await.
Okay. You go ahead in peace for now, Apollo said. Stepping through the threshold, the bright red glow illuminates and envelops the couple as they move forward, hand in hand. Before them is a small two-story building with a massive red neon sign reading, Hellas Planatia Love Hotel. Oh, no. I think it was supposed to say and bar there. Maybe that got to This paint-peeled structure sits alone in a vast red desert hellscape. A tarnished key enters a rickety lock, turning and opening the doorway into their room. A bed, a side lamp, a wall-mounted vending machine. Isabelle slips the remote control from a sanitized plastic sleeve and clicks on the TV to view a cacodemon wearing a colorful and frilly negligee. The cacodemon settles her near-nude, meatball-like form onto a silken-covered king-size bed. A funky bass track plays as she begins spreading a thick coat of magenta lipstick, framing her toothy grin. Another cacodemon floats at the foot of her bed. A gold chain rosary drops from him to the floor. At the same time...
Gabby's looking away.
At the same time, his member rises. The tube of hamburger meat hanging beneath him becomes swollen, engorged, and pulsing venal membranes appear across the surface of the hardened red pillar. Isabelle gasps, feeling soft beads of liquid dripping through the fur of her inner thighs. The cacodemon floats toward his target of desire, the bedded down cacodemon, who is nestled amongst a tangle of the silken white sheets, now stained and dotted with small puddles of juicy runoff, oozing from the brain-like pattern of her moist skin. The cacodemon floats forward, flagpole stiffened at a 45-degree angle upwards, like the figurehead on a mighty, meaty ship sailing towards its port of entry. The bedded down cacodemon rolls over, squishing into a sultry prostration, presenting her steaming harbor. This carnal display enters Isabelle's eyes like the blinding headlamps of a speeding train, chugging into her psyche and derailing in an explosion of desire. A powerful, musky odor pours uncontrollably from Isabelle's dripping privacy. The odoriferous cloud crawls through the air, dancing about the Doomslayer's head. He clicks a side panel button and the metallic visor slides up with a mechanical whoosh. The musky emanation settles before his face, then slithers rapidly into his nose holes like a frenzied polecat lunging after its subterranean prey. Doomslayer's eyes cross, and his bulky muscular mitts grasp Isabelle by her hindquarters. She lets out a soft whimper as Doomslayer lifts her up into the air, taking a seat in the vibrating chair and lowering her onto his lap. He drops a dime into the coin slot. The chair pulses to life, buzzing and grinding gears. Outside of the motel, miles across the desert landscape, a baron of hell perks up as he hears the faint howls of a canine in the distance.
Oh my god.
Isabelle had never felt pleasure quite like this. Waves of euphoria swept her body as she felt her fur stand on end. Once the chair had ceased its vibrating, the Slayer carefully lifted Isabelle and placed her on the motel bed. He always treated her like she was the most delicate thing he had ever handled, like she might balk at his enormous demon-killing hands for being too rough and too clumsy. He lifted his helmet off and knelt on the floor in front of her. Ironic, Isabelle thought. This man has been to hell, but he's on his knees for me. As the Slayer placed his hand cautiously on Isabelle's hip, she noticed he was ever so slightly trembling. On any other given day, her over-scrutinizing mind would have gotten in her way, but she knew how much they both wanted, needed this. Isabelle grabbed the Slayer's face gently between her paws, and he looked up at her, gaze softening. Isabelle wondered at all the things she might never know about him. Where had he been? What had he done? Did he have friends, family? Had anyone ever truly loved him before her? That's where his hesitation was coming from. A fortress built around his heart from years, centuries, eons of being alone. I'm going with you, she repeated. The Slayer slowly and methodically kissed down Isabelle's entire body, making sure to pay special attention to each of her 8 nipples before settling at her center. Her brain was apple jam. Her thoughts could not wander, yet could not stay still. As the Slayer laughed hungrily at her. Never in all her dog years had she felt so out of control, so wild, so untamed. He murmured into her, perhaps the most sound Isabelle had ever heard him make. She tried to speak, to reply, to fill his silence, to somehow thank him for... She didn't know. All she could say was, I'm going with you. Isabelle yawned and rubbed the sleep from her eyes as the wisps of last night's dream drifted away like clouds. There had been maintenance requests to organize, there was a meteor shower, Celeste had said something about Mars, and Isabelle sat bolt upright in bed. What time was it? How long had she been asleep? How long had she been at this motel? And where was he?
The following is the next 1/3 of the fan fiction.
Oh
no! Isabelle frantically rushes to get dressed. She doesn't want to be late for the morning announcements. What should be a mundane activity becomes much more.
No.
You cannot hear me?
Oh, I
test,
can
test,
hear.
test,
I can
test.
hear.
Or the other ear, maybe.
Put your other ear on.
Test.
Oh.
Can you hear me? Test,
yeah, I
test,
can hear.
test,
Can you hear,
test,
Blood?
test.
I
I'll
hear
keep
him.
talking till
Okay,
you
we'll just
can
keep going
hear me.
over you.
Test, 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 test.
Probably
Oh,
just
yeah.
the thing is fucked up.
There
Yeah.
it goes.
Good?
You good now,
Wait.
Don? You good, Brad? Test,
Yeah,
test,
yeah.
test.
Good?
You
Yeah,
good?
Go.
All right. Isabelle frantically rushes to get dressed. She doesn't want to be late for the morning announcements, but what should be a mundane activity becomes much more as wonder and fear overwhelm her. There's a harsh disorientation preventing her from focusing as she struggles to reconcile at the most profound night of her life. The most perfect and erotic of encounters could be as fleeting as the wind blowing in through the barely cracked open window. I have some time, she whispers as she finally finds the nerve to button up her orange cardigan. Rather than heading straight for town hall, Isabelle diverts to look for her knight in shining green armor, hoping for some affirmation and reassurance. Yet none would come. With each passing house, each passing tree, and each passing villager, there was no sign of her mysterious lover. Letting out a dejected sigh, Isabelle looks up at the clock above town hall and realizes it's time for work. As she enters the building, she bumps into Apollo. It looks like you're finally up and about. It's great to see you feeling better, Isabelle. Her confused look elicits a concerned reply. Maybe I spoke too soon. Is everything okay? Staring down at her feet, she slowly lifts her head and meets Apollo's eyes. Apollo, do you know where Slayer is? I'm not sure what you mean, Isabelle. You know, the human who washed up on the island that night, and the Nooks helped me bring him, and all of us watched over him? Apollo interrupted. Oh, Isabelle, you're still not well. It seems your memory is still foggy. That night, when you went out to the beach, you swam out into the water claiming to have found somebody. It was freezing out, and you struggled to make it back to land. Luckily, Gulliver was nearby and woke up after hearing your pleas and was able to get help. They brought you to the motel there, and we've all been watching over you since. Tears rolled down Isabelle's cheeks. This can't be. This has to be some sort of joke, right? Apollo tried to console her. Why don't you take the day off, and we'll have somebody else take care of the announcements for today. She couldn't believe it. She refused. But as the anger swelled inside, before she could speak, she passed out. Apollo and a few others brought Isabelle back to her home to recover. Days passed. Isabelle still refused to accept the truth. How could the most perfect night have been a lie? Even more cruel were the dreams. Every night it was the same dream. Her in the bulging arms of the Slayer, feeling the warm embrace of this perfect specimen. She tries to find ways to cope, but the pain eats away at her soul. Isabelle realizes she can't stay. She must move on if she is to heal. One day, while visiting the airport, she notices an unusual brochure on the rack of travel destinations. An image of a human in red overalls sitting in some futuristic-looking vehicle adorns the cover. She pulls it out and thumbs through the pages. Her eyes widen. It's the first positive sign in weeks. This is it. Isabelle races home and begins packing. Almost as quickly, she returns to the airport and books a flight to New Donk City. The entire flight, she reads through the brochure front to back at least 10 times. Upon arriving, she trudges her carry-on luggage through the bustling gates. And after finally exiting out of the airport, she allows herself a moment to process the sight. She had never seen so many people before, or a skyline that trades breaking waves and sandy beaches for massive concrete buildings that nearly kiss the clouds. Fumbling through the large crowds of people waiting alongside the street, she finally hails a cab. Where to, miss? She handed him the brochure and tapped on an image of a giant stadium. As Isabelle exited the cab, she looked up at the towering structure. Giant letters above the main entrance shine in the reflection of the sun's bright rays. Mario Stadium, she softly speaks. Taking in the wonder of the moment, she moves over to a small banner touting new racers to sign up. She approaches a desk with a young woman with regal blonde hair and a fabulous pink jumpsuit. The woman, glancing up slowly while smiling, asks, "Are you here to sign up for the new junior league?" Isabelle feels her heart racing. She's lost herself in this woman's captivating blue eyes. The woman repeats her question, this time waving her hand slowly in hopes of stealing away Isabelle's focus. Are you here to sign up? Yes, I'm so sorry. I would love to, she finally replies. Just need you to sign here, acknowledge the usual safety and liability issues, and then we can get you set up, the woman exclaims. Isabelle makes her mark without hesitation. The woman picks up the paperwork and gives it a once-over. She looks back up at Isabelle. Isabelle, that's a beautiful name. My name's Peach. It's a pleasure to meet you. Peach extends her hand out to Isabelle, who tries her best to grasp it without seeming too eager. Peach senses her awkwardness and chuckles. If you want, I can show you down to the locker rooms and help you find your gear. Isabelle's heart skips a beat at the chance they'll get to spend more time together. She smiles softly and nods. Peach gets up and motions for Isabelle to follow her into the building. As the two make their way, Peach turns back to Isabelle. Oh, I almost forgot. Welcome to Mario Kart. The end.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Isabelle's sexual journeys through every IP.
There's the title.
Holy
New
crap.
Horizons. That's what
I
it's
did not see that going that
One
way.
demon killed.
New Horizons is fun.
I did not.
Also, Hall of Shame is pretty good.
I did not see Dawn going that hard.
No
that
one
was
did.
insane.
I started to read the chapter at work, and I was like, I can't do this.
insane.
About level of appropriateness, but
That was like.
Dawn, that was NC-17.
That was creative, Dawn.
That was NC-17, Dawn.
yeah, that might hopefully.
I don't know that he violated
I
any
don't
terms of
think
service.
We'll just hope we don't find out.
Well, chat, if it gets nuked, you were here live.
You were here.
You'll never forget this.
Where's the TV?
Oh my-
remote?
Oh
Hang on.
my god.
That was insane.
But he was describing an in-universe
I don't know.
adult
TV
video.
remote.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Also,
Mostly.
like, demon parts, not even human parts.
Yeah. I think it's good. Man, now I'm picturing like part 2 where she's like
All right.
doing the scene from The Chase but with Peach. You know what I'm talking about?
Yup.
Huber?
Yo, shout out to the Chase.
Dude.
And then, yeah, so I'm about to do Hall of Shame, chat. We gotta.
Oh my god.
Chat, did you like the
Shuffle
That
story?
and
was
roll.
insane. Can't handle it.
Did you like the story?
Not one demon kill.
That was something. What?
Not one demon kill.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
did we? Yeah, no one. I was setting it up, dude.
Same, dude.
Get
I walked through the
Apollo there
portal.
with them,
Right,
dude.
right.
Isla had the shotgun pump.
I
I had the
I
walk into
followed-
the portal.
Then
I
Dawn
followed
took him
along.
to a fucking love hotel.
I feel like
Damn it.
I feel like Blood and Brad and I, or Blood and I set up the love, and Brad set up the mythos, you know, and then
I
like
guess I should
everyone
introduce
else
before
just
All right,
crashed
chat.
the plane into the
Well,
sand.
no one else was writing any romance.
Yeah, I had the
you know?
Apollo.
couldn't
one.
yet.
Where you follow?
I set it up.
Yeah,
I
set it up.
I had the Apollo
I-
I'm
family
afraid you're
one.
gonna take it away.
No.
I had to Google who the fuck
Part of me was
Apollo
like, oh no,
Yeah, I
is
figured
Dawn
you would.
fading to black? Like, should I not? But then I was
I
like,
left it like
He
that in
looks
case you
tight.
wanted to.
He does look tight.
good,
He
good.
looks like.
Yeah. So wait, Gabby, was it a dream or was it?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Well, I wasn't sure. I wanted it to be Damiani's choice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
All right.
love that.
So, everyone, coming up now, it is the Easy Allies.
All right,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go first because I'm sick as hell.
Take care of yourself.
Rest up.
Bye, Isla.
Yeah, we each wrote.
Yeah.
We each read the parts we
Yeah.
wrote of that.
Yeah.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So this.
So Dawn,
Damiani's still
we'll have
here.
to edit the camera.
Yeah, he's got it. He's got it.
Oh.
So when Huber gets back, we will be beginning the Hall of Shame. If you're familiar with the Hall of Greats, the Hall of Shame is the inverse. These are games that are infamously problematic, broken, or just shameful in one way or another.
What were the last winners? Do we
What
remember?
were the last winners? Chat, do we
Chat will
know?
know.
Oh, Hall of Shame? Yeah, I
Jesse, thanks for the
Shame.
Damiani's
1,000
looking 'em up.
bits.
Sorry, we're gonna have to put it up here. Actually.
Yeah, it was last time was Duke Nukem. Oh, sorry, that was 2021. Hall of Shame, the original one was Duke Nukem and Dead Space, and then 2022.
Dead Space 3. Dead Space 3.
Dead Space 3.
SimCity and Nuts and Bolts.
Oh yeah. I'm glad I got nuts and bolts in there.
Yeah, SimCity, Nuts and Bolts, Banjo Kazooie.
Nice.
And Flare on 6500. Thank you
NFL
for that
Aaron.
sub. Or that too.
Internet names are weird, man.
It's like trying to read Japanese. There's no spaces.
Yeah.
There's no
There's no
capital
spaces.
letters. It's all jammed together.
There's no caps. Did that story get you hot and bothered, Gabby? So you're
Yeah.
fanning off?
It is actually warm in here, though. Which
Yeah,
is
it's hot in
yeah.
here.
'Cause
That story couldn't be less sexy.
Yeah, I got like
Oh, it's like
heated up from sheer embarrassment.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah.
I was embarrassed to be in this room.
Like my bit about
mission
the
accomplished.
6 nipples.
That was good. That was good.
yeah.
Damiani just turned into a fucking dream, which was funny. Mario Kart time! That was sick.
It's cold outside
Gotta
in
give
Los
that-
Yeah,
Angeles
it
right
is.
now. It's chilly, but it's
It's
hot
so weird
in
because
here.
usually this gets like an ice box in here.
Isabelle joined Mario Kart.
Oh, we got the tape. Don't worry.
We got zip tape. Dog.
It's a tight squeeze with everything on train.
Tight squeeze.
Oh, I
We're
can
gonna
sit
talk
up there.
about the BAFTA thing. Yeah, if you didn't see the thing,
I'm good. Okay.
they're gonna be doing a thing
Okay.
with the BAFTAs, like a long list or something like that of nominees. So check that out. There's a little teaser on the Twitters. All right, Huber's here.
Yes.
Time to start it off.
I've arrived.
Gabby, you
Am I
pick a
doing the
card.
honors?
You pick the card, first card. Then everyone else picks. Damiani is
Damiani.
first.
Ooh.
And then Damiani, you do have a video.
My video whenever you're ready, dude.
All right.
Okay.
Let me turn the TV on.
I'll pick for Damiani too.
Yeah, it's only a video, so.
Perfect.
All right. Yeah, so we're just playing a video.
Everybody's ready?
Okay.
Yep.
I need to get a timer out too for when we do the back and forth.
Do you want to do the nominee pick, Damiani? Oh, that's for later. Never mind.
Okay, ready? Here we go.
Hit
My
it.
Hall of Shame nominee is truly one of the most shameful video games ever made.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Get those runner shoes ready to trek
Oh,
through
no.
vast, land, and relatively empty zones. Delving into the quest system reveals even more flaws. While there are some unique aspects to its setup, there's a cap on how many quests you can take on within a time period in excess of a whole day, and the time it takes for the quota to reset is unusually long. Unlike most other MMOs that let you tackle as many quests as you want, 14 applies arbitrary limits, forcing you to frequently seek less fun alternatives. This wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for the fact that the remaining activities boil down to straight grinding. It's backwards and out of place in this day and age. But it doesn't end there. The game's economy abandons the concept of an auction house in favor of player-run market zones, and there's one gaping flaw in the system. You can't search for specific items, rather you have to manually scan each and every NPC in one of the dozens of market wards scattered throughout the game. This is only one of the bafflingly obvious omissions. There's no mail system in place yet, and the social elements are half-cooked. Sure, you can still party up, form link shells, and send tells to friends, but the interface is atrocious. And good luck figuring out if your buddies are online if they aren't already on your friends list, which incidentally requires that you add them while in close physical proximity. Even the common task of searching for a specific player is a needless chore.
The feeling, my dear, is mutual.
Rather than learn from past mistakes and incorporate what are inarguably advancements in the genre, Square Enix seems to have designed Final Fantasy XIV in a vacuum. and released it halfway before it was done.
Well, take a look around. It's obvious, isn't it?
It just simply isn't worth the hassle. Everything in 14 moves along at a snail's pace. Whether you're running around or fighting, the playstyle is just tired. The interface is subpar, laggy, and unintuitive. Traversing terrain hits a snag when you come to hills and cliffs. Typically, you can't climb over or fall down steep inclines. It doesn't help that there isn't an option to just outright jump, and it's all too easy to get caught up on invisible objects or impeded by obstacles you'd think you could easily climb over. Combat doesn't fare better. Though it adopts an interface and system superficially similar to other mainstream MMOs, there are more than a few hiccups. What should be a simple process of selecting a course of action can quickly turn into an ugly mess. Too many times a spell or ability takes longer than advertised to execute, and the targeting system is a bit of a nightmare. You'll also have to contend with bugs. Monsters can randomly regenerate health or become rendered invalid targets midway through a battle. It's chaotic and inconsistent overall.
I'm frightened.
All will be well, sweetie.
Field activities like mining or fishing employ unique mechanics that are fun to an extent, but figuring out their inner workings is an aggravating process of trial and error. Synthesis takes the confusion one step further with its obscure system that feels like it relies on blind luck more often than not. The paltry explanations the game provides don't give enough insight into how to craft successfully, and the entire process is too cumbersome. When you realize that crafting is pretty much your only alternative to questing and grinding, the dismal nature of the game's prospects come into clear view.
Oh, my head.
Things are a mess right now, and given how tedious much of the game is, having to fight the controls and mechanics pushes things to the breaking point. You can put up with it and get by if you're irrationally determined, but it doesn't change the fact that Final Fantasy XIV was released in a state that's completely unacceptable for a finished product. Final Fantasy XIV is in no way, shape, or form ready for commercial release. We suppose there is potential down the line for the experience to improve with patches and tweaks, but that doesn't justify why the game is in such shambles at launch. There are too many good MMOs on the market for you to spend your time and money on this broken, incomplete mess.
No. They don't even know.
12 feet. Good.
Nice.
Woof.
Woof.
Who wrote that?
Who wrote that?
Oh, you did. Okay, that's what I
reviewed
thought.
that, yeah.
It sounded like you.
Nice.
I'm ready.
You ready?
Yes.
So,
Good.
here we go.
Damiani, that review made me not play that game because I was hyped and it was garbage. However, do you think it's in a better state because the evil is defeated and it no longer exists? It is gone. That game is gone.
It's gone, but it's not forgotten.
True. But the evil can't hurt anyone anymore, right?
I guess. I don't know. It's bad memories.
All right, fair.
And it didn't get better till they destroyed it.
All right.
Had to bring it back.
Damiani. But what about the music in that? It's some pretty good sounding tunes that were in the video you just showed.
Yeah, there were some good tunes, but I could just listen to the soundtrack by itself. They don't need to be wasted on that disaster, that steaming pile. And you know what? All those songs made it into the the better version. So the good stuff got brought forward. So yes, the music was good, but even legendary composer Uematsu couldn't even couldn't salvage it, couldn't do anything. And also, from a presentation standpoint, sometimes better visuals, sound, whatever, it's not always better. that game had better visuals than 14 had, the Realm Reborn had for the longest time. But they've spent so many polygons on like a single item that like the game was coded like trash. So yeah, it was pretty at the expense of the game ran horribly. And it was all copy pasted design for the environments. There's a reason people like bring up that Black Shroud map. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's garbage. I agree. Didn't you?
Yeah.
Damiani, do you think there was something special though about having to be that close to be friends with somebody? You know, isn't there something intimate about like having to be in the same basically like room as someone to become friends?
Not for the auction house. No. That's not bonding. That's me getting angry at everybody in that room. Like I'm actively like you're starting to like hate each other because it's like they're making life miserable. So you put a bunch of miserable people in a room together, you know, things aren't going to be good. And everyone's like, you know, we're sharing the misery, I guess. So I mean, you sort of got your bonds there. I know you're looking for that word, but yeah, the common enemy was, you know, the game. You're trying to like, you know, band together to survive this, you know, the game, but you know, it was just too much in the end.
Damiani, I have a scenario to think about. If this had not been this bad, if it had been perhaps less bad, if it had been like a 6 or a 7, do you think it could have had the turnaround that it ended up having?
Yeah, I don't know. Like that's like, I mean, hypotheticals are fun. If it had done better and thus maybe like died like a slower death because it was like just maybe mundane and not exceptional, then maybe we don't get 14 as we know it today. But maybe they turn over to Naoki Yoshida and they're like, yo, we need to make a brand new MMO and maybe we got something even better than 14. So who knows? Like we could have gotten something even better if the original team had just, you know, eked out a little bit more from this game, the original. But it's okay.
Swordless says we really should be thanking 1.0 for being so bad.
35 seconds.
Damiani, do you think this version of the game did anything better than Final Fantasy 11?
Then 11? I mean, I said the like the visuals are better, but at the same time, like, who cares? Yeah. I don't know. Probably not. I mean, maybe the menus were nicer, like the interface looked better too. But 11 was like, it was so shocking how bad 14 was because if it was trying to be an 11, it couldn't even be as good as 11. It was worse than 11. So yeah, that's not good.
There we go.
Great pick, Damiani. Gabby, you'll need to pick again.
All right, now we'll have Damiani do it, number 1 to 4.
Oh, okay.
All right, 3.
3.
That's me.
Bread.
All right. Dawn, take that off the screen real quick.
I don't know where I put Damiani.
So,
oh, I have it.
for just
okay,
our
great.
video, let's just put it like here, so chat can kind of see.
Still
You made
reeling
it
from
TV
Dawn's
up, or you good?
fanfic.
You're reeling?
From Dawn's fanfic.
Just the
The Love Motel.
The Love Motel.
What was he thinking?
The vibrating chair.
So yeah,
I didn't know he had it in him.
I didn't either.
Like from Dawn of all people.
I know.
Oh, I knew Dawn.
Yeah, just so they
Don,
can see us.
Don has a wife. Don has kids.
Dawn's a dad.
That's a family man.
Dawn is a dad.
Yeah, Dawn's a dad.
So is it just the video you're going to be talking over?
I'm going to be talking over the video too.
Okay, so I gotta
But you can listen to some of it, I guess. Alright, hold on.
I started reading it at work, and I was like, I can't do this, and I closed it, and I had to.
Come to it.
That's why it took a while. I got it.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Blood.
Okay.
That and a lot of shit
yeah.
I had to do.
It makes
mine-
sense. It puts it in
Mine took
context.
the longest.
Alright. Blood, are you ready?
Actually,
Yeah.
I took a look.
Okay, go. Alright, so this game I've been wanting to play, I wanted to play for a very long time. and I bugged Damiani about it.
Oh,
he said
no.
He said no. But then we finally got it this year at Easy X. You know I love Zelda. I never played these before. We played a lot of Zelda and the Wand of Gamelon. And oh boy, this game depressed me. Like, of course, excited, love Zelda, all that good stuff. Zelda, top tier franchise around. This is a disgrace to the franchise, and Nintendo wishes they could burn this away from history. So this game is a 2D side-scrolling platform like Zelda 2, but it has some of the worst controls I've ever played in a video game ever. Immediate red flag is up on the D-pad as to jump in this game. It is a terrible decision. When the controller had 3 buttons, they had to put up on there for you to jump for some reason. 2 buttons only were used throughout the whole game, so the first button was your sword, and everything else you do in this game is used with one other button. That means opening doors, bringing up the menu, using items, and there was constantly amount of times when we were playing this game, we would try to go through an item, we would accidentally use a weapon or an item, we used bombs constantly. Everything in this game takes away your rupees. We were having to farm for boring ass items in this Zelda game. It was so pathetic and terrible. Let's see. There was also an insanely amount of annoying things going on as you're going through screens. This game likes to just get dark all the time. Lights just go off all the time. We were having to use that oil constantly. The lamp, you need oil, and that takes money. We ran out of that constantly. We were having to go back and forth to refill bombs. Oil lamp, it was brutal. There was one part where we had to blow up a boulder, and it took 10 bombs to blow up a boulder. It was a fucking nightmare. Some of the worst hitboxes I've ever experienced in a game of trying to kill guys in this game was a fucking struggle. It felt like I was fighting Ornstein and Smo, just fighting a normal enemy of just where you can only attack. It was unbelievably annoying and hard. Let's see. Dude, the hitboxes on jumping too. There was platform in this game. We were just jumping through. We're falling through the floor at parts of this game. It's like no one even tested this game. It's a disgrace. The backgrounds are super convoluted and hard to figure out where you're going. Constantly we're trying to get somewhere we didn't know how. We were jumping on things in the background or the foreground when we couldn't really tell. And this game is insanely tough. There is like no iframes in this game. You get like stun locked and you're dead in like 2 seconds. This game is embarrassing, a disgrace for it. I don't even know what's worse, is this game or that they made 3 of these games. It's fucking embarrassing. I was excited to play these games. These made me angry and scarred, and I never want to see these pieces of trash again. Please stay dead in the past. Collect them, Nintendo, bury them underground, go to people's houses and take this game from them. No one should be allowed to own these games. They are terrible, especially this one. Please stay dead. Thank you.
Brad, the cutscenes are pretty sick though, right?
No, they're not.
No?
They're a novelty for 10 seconds.
Okay.
You're like, wow, it's kind of cool. Then you're like, all right, let's move on.
I got 2 things for you, Brad. Going about the cutscenes. I need to get your
I can't hear you. Sorry, say it again. Say it again.
All right, 2 things for you, Brad. First, to follow up on cutscenes, I need you to react to these contemporary statements about the game when it came out. SNES Force magazine described the animated sequences as breathtaking and praised the game for its high-resolution graphics and its brilliant use of sound and speech. Highly anticipated by the French video game press, Joystick magazine's development preview of the Faces of Evil and Wand of Gamelon described it as a veritable arcade-quality game with stunning graphics and perfect animation.
Well, guess what? If you dress up a pig nicely, it's still a pig no matter how hard you try. You cannot tell me those cutscenes are sick. That is ridiculously poor animation. They have the goofiest fucking faces. I feel like I took hard drugs, and I've never taken hard drugs in my life. It was like a dare message to me, Dami. I did never do it. I don't want to see shit like that. It's horrifying.
So, what about the legacy, though? These games gave us, priceless memes. I mean, do you think that was worth like the price of this game existing?
No, the memes are not. Memes are not worth it. What it did to the franchise, the legacy of a spotless franchise.
Let me ask you a serious question. You complain about the game getting dark a lot, like a lot of dark stuff. But I just want to point out, in Zelda 1, dark rooms were a common thing. You needed, like, one of the candles to get there. Same thing with Zelda 2. You had entire caves that are dark. So don't you think that kind of fits in with, like, what Zelda had been doing up to that point?
The idea is there, Dami, but the execution is poor. About how fast the lantern oil would run out, it became a chore. In the other Zelda games, it is not a chore, really. It feels like a reward. It feels like a sick tool you got. In this game, it just feels like another thing added to the list of annoying maintenance.
Brad, it sounds like the economy was tight, and I'm all about that.
Cool.
Rupees matter.
Yeah.
You got to get your oil for the lantern. Every time you go into those dark areas, you feel like you earned it. What do you think about that?
I don't think you earn anything in that game, especially because to pick up rupees, you have to stab them, which is a fucking ridiculous thing that happens in no other Zelda game. It is, Hubert, it's not cool in any way in practice. The idea is always fun, the execution is poor because they don't know how to balance it.
What about that? If it wasn't for the execution, the technical mess and everything, just the conceptually and the art, the approach they were taking it, isn't it a little bit admirable? I mean, at the time, this was like
so you're telling me,
bold for Zelda.
So if it didn't have any problems, would it be admirable? Yeah, that was called Zelda 2, Don.
Brad, you talk about the legacy and the tarnishing of the legacy or whatever, but I feel like this is something that you pretty much have to be really deep dived. Like, most people never even knew these things came out until 5-10 years later, if that.
Well, everyone knows now. With the power of the internet.
I still think most people don't.
Well, compared to a lot more now, just because the vast majority, I guess, of people blood don't know. More people know now, which is a shame. Less people should know, but more know now.
Because of its infamy, honestly.
Yeah.
How's the combat, Brad? Tell me about the combat. How are the boss fights? Are there boss fights?
Dude, they don't feel like boss fights here. They're just like, they look like normal mobs, and everything is trash, dude. Dude, you know I love Zelda. You know I would look for things to love in this game.
The most.
And there's just nothing to love here. Absolutely nothing. It's pure frustration how bad this game is, especially when the time the games are coming around. Like, I mean, you could have just looked at Castlevania or something, or even like Zelda 2 and done... If it was a quarter as good as those games, it still wouldn't be very good.
Just taking still frames from the game.
Yes.
Looks good.
The still frame?
Yeah.
I will say it has its style. I don't really prefer it. I don't really care for it. It's kind of messy to me and washed out everywhere. And blurry and confusing. So, yes.
Pretty legendary music in Zelda. How does that hold up?
I will say it has its own vibe and some decent music, but it doesn't feel like Zelda music to me.
How about... I got nothing.
Box art? Did it have good box art?
It's okay. No? It's okay. For what it is, it's okay.
Did you finish the game?
Fuck no. We played on stream. I was ready to move on.
Very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice.
Alright, let's see who's next. Don Casanova's next.
Alright.
Do you mean to start your video, Don?
Let's see. No, I don't have a video. It's a live presentation.
Oh, shit. Do you have props?
Stay here. I do have a prop.
You had one.
I have a prop. I have what? One prop. Let me move it into place here.
Whoa.
Got it plugged in. Just
plugged in?
What the hell?
There we go.
Is this a
fox?
boy.
Is that a baby's car seat?
Yes.
Right, I'm revealing in a second.
Really tiny.
What in the world?
I didn't see what it was, so that's okay.
It's okay. That's a red herring anyway.
Yo, if you're bribing people with drinks,
I can be bought.
I can be bought on Hall of Shame. I have no shame.
Blood has the timer, so now we're gonna have to really be on the timer today. Careful, because this is a complicated presentation. Let's see, how's it gonna go? This, that, yeah. So let me know.
Don, I will not use all my time. I can preemptively give you.
Let me know.
Yeah, you'd have to go before me usually.
So let me know when I'm at 3 minutes, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
At 3 minutes. 3 minutes to go or 3 minutes elapsed?
I've used 2 minutes, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
3 minutes to go.
Okay, here we go. And go. Okay, we're talking about classic video games, iconic video games that we all know about, that are good for a reason, and what their legacy is thereafter. Let's talk about a game. Actually, let's talk about this. I'm gonna reveal it. Miss Pac-Man. This isn't the game I'm nominating, but let's talk about a game called Miss Pac-Man. Right? What do you know about Miss Pac-Man?
That it's a 10 out of 10.
Thank you.
It's
right?
one of my favorite games ever made. Anytime I see it in an arcade, I play.
Yes. And what is it? Approachable. Can you understand the concept of what you're doing?
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons why this was successful, right? Addictive play, difficult. There's motivation to compete with others. Okay. So, now, I'm going to bring up another classic from this similar era, Blood, okay?
Okay.
Dig Dug. You know the game.
Yes.
Tell me what you know about Dig Dug.
Dig Dug. You dig into the ground and you have like
Simple.
a little air pump that you
Yeah.
pump up enemies
There
and
it
pop
is.
them and
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, so...
Go around, try to find treasures. Things can fall on your
Easy
head.
concept, exciting. One of the reasons Dig Dug is fun, you're digging your own paths everywhere, right?
Yeah.
At the time, it's very novel. So now let's get to the problem of what happened. First of all, Dig Dug. International success. Everyone's heard of this, even you, Gabby, right? You've heard of Dig Dug,
Even
haven't you?
me,
Have you heard of
yeah.
it? Well, because I know you're not into early. I mean, this is
Yeah.
old, right? So we're talking
I've heard of Dig Dug.
Okay, so Gabby's heard of Dig Dug. Everyone's on board with Dig Dug, and they love it. Now, what happened with Dig Dug 2? Anybody know about Dig Dug
I've never
2?
even heard of Dig Dug.
Why would that be?
I-
You've heard of many Pac-Man sequels,
Oh,
right?
of course.
Now, how on earth could we not have here after the impression that Part 1 left? How on earth could we not hear of Dig Dug 2? Bloodworth, do you have an answer?
I mean, it
We're
could
gonna-
have not made it to a lot of arcades or
We're
something.
going to try to get to the bottom of it.
3 minutes.
It wasn't that.
3 minutes.
Did
3
it
minutes.
not come out outside of a certain
That's
country?
not it. It was released globally, Damiani. But what happened?
Okay.
They changed the formula massively. Now, why would you do this? They changed several things. Look at this. Do you recognize any of this?
There's like an overworld. Okay.
Yeah. Do you
No, I
know?
don't think I have played this.
If you would have seen this, would you have said,
Whoa,
I'm looking
what?
at Dig Dug 2? Is this what you would expect from Dig Dug 2?
I might. You got the same little guys with the snorkel
If I
mask.
was looking for
No.
Dig Dug 2, I'd be imagining bigger 2D maps,
Yeah.
maybe deeper. Maybe you could do co-op with two people simultaneously. There's a lot of way you can think of expanding what everyone loved about the first one without ruining it. So they go to a top-down view, which is the first issue that I take with Dig Dug, okay? Now look, it's the first Dig Dug, you're dropping rocks. Now I'm going to tell you something. It has the same things. You're filling up... You're using the balloon power and the crushing power. Now I'm going to put a coin in here, and I'm going to let Brad, who should know, be able to pick this up pretty quick.
Yeah,
Play a
Dig
little
Dug.
bit.
2 minutes.
Play a little bit and see
Blast
if you can
him.
figure out what's going on. Now, how long do you think it would take to get the concept of Dig Dug 1, Blood? Top down. Yeah, we're a top-down view.
20
kind of-
seconds.
20
tops.
seconds. Now let's see what's happening. How's
I mean, I think
Brad?
I have
Clearing the
somewhat of an
screen.
idea of
Yeah,
what
just
it's
clear
going
it
to be.
out.
So what's happening here? So the
No.
problem with Dig Dug 2 is that
Wait,
in
what?
the first level, yeah, keep going. In the first level
clear 'em out.
of Dig Dug 1, you're digging anywhere you want. It's freedom. On this, where are you digging, Brad?
Only on the green spaces.
Is there a particular...
even digging,
There's
actually.
a grid. You're not digging.
It looks like you're
But where are you
inflating the
chiseling?
enemies.
Yeah,
You
we're
inflate the
inflating.
Yeah,
enemies.
you did that in
Inflate
the first thing.
Yeah.
But what about the chiseling technique?
I haven't seen the
You
chisel.
can't do it anywhere. Use the other button, will chisel. You can chisel along the grid pattern. So what's
Oh.
happening now? So you're moving in free movement, but you have to chisel in a
Oh.
controlled... You see this? After
Yo, that
explaining
actually looks
it,
kind of badass.
the king of all gamers, Bradley's finally starting to understand. Now, I'm glad you bring that up, Huber. That's
One
important.
minute. Yeah,
1
you
minute.
can
Okay,
box 'em out.
thank
You
you for
can
bringing it
box 'em
around.
out.
Huber, this is important. I haven't gotten to all my points why Dig Dug 2 is a disaster. It's not a disaster. It's actually a good game, Huber. It's a game that's very fun. However, calling it Dig Dug 2 ruined the legacy of one of the most epic, iconic games ever in the history of gaming, Dig Dug 1. And that is unforgivable. That's surely a shameful act. One of the most shameful. And that's why I would vote for Dig Dug 2 being the most important. What else did I miss? I feel like there's a couple dozen points I missed, but that was the most important. The legacy that it tarnished. Yeah. Can you imagine a sequel doing
tarnish.
this to a game? Was there ever a sequel that tarnished the original as great as this? Maybe Final Fantasy 14? I don't know. We'll see which of the other... Now, we're getting 2 in tonight, right?
Maybe Resident Evil 6.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll find out. Thank you.
There it is.
Don, despite it looking and playing and being entirely different than Dig Dug 1, it seemed like it had sound mechanics with inflating the enemies to destroy them and to dismantle pieces of the map.
Yeah. It had sound mechanics for what it is, Huber, but they diverged so greatly from what the original was that it simply should be called a different game. It's basically like a different game stole the inflation mechanic. That's kind of what happened, because the inflation mechanic is similar.
But Don, don't you think this is sort of a product of the time? There's a sort of a belief at the time that a sequel shouldn't just be the same thing, that it should be very different. That's why
Not at
Zelda
all.
and Zelda 2 were promoted at the same time as, being different looking games. Castlevania 2 was very different.
Not at all. Dig Dug 1 made such a huge and epic splash, Bloodworth, that almost every other game label under the sun was producing Dig Dug clones.
They fumbled.
Mr. Do, have you ever heard of it? You know what I'm saying? And every other game company got on board and started producing Dig Dug clones for years to come, and the only ones that didn't get it were Namco, licensed to Atari, and they produced a completely different game which was very unsat. Here's the core insult of it. It's the changes they made, Damiani, were a very big insult to the core crowd that loved the original. I think it's like, why slap your fans in the face by completely changing? It's like, Damiani, you like 2D platforming games. Are you going to be happy if the sequel is suddenly an isometric puzzler? Are you starting to see where I'm going with this? Damiani's on board.
Well, Don, I have a question for you, because you're talking about legacy here, and you're talking about other companies pilfering this idea. Do you know what did Bandai, what did Namco follow this up with? There was something called Dig Dug 3, and it became something else. Do you know what was that series? I thought you were talking about it for a second there.
Not Mr. Do.
What did Mr. Driller?
Oh, Mr. Driller, yeah, of course.
Is Mr. Driller a worthy successor because it did two really destroy it, or did it
who
evaluate?
in this room has heard of Mr. Driller?
What?
Bloodworth, maybe.
Who hasn't heard of Mr. Driller?
Ever since you mentioned it, right?
I've heard of it.
So not many. Everyone's not listed. Everyone
I like Mr.
like
Driller.
Dig Dug. Are you seriously though?
Question though, Don. So I played this. It's kind of fun, but is the main problem that it just has the 2 on it for you, and not just like Dig Dug Adventure or something?
Doug Dig?
Dig Dug.
Yeah, and it ruined the legacy, because after that, these games, Mr. Driller, they never got out of the shadow of the first one because of what the second one did. There were a whole bunch of Dig Dugs. You probably didn't know this. I think there are 6 or 7 sequels. No one's heard of any of them because they never got out of the shadow left by the second Dig Dug and the awful things it did. And we won't forgive it for that.
I won't forget it.
The votes will be put in, you'll see.
John, did you? Like you don't appreciate the levolution of the time, the parts of the chunks of the level just falling off. That's pretty crazy, right?
I think if there was some way, Bloodworth, for instance, if you did that part, the chunking off, top down, where you could chunk off layers of the island, because it is a cool mechanic, but then you could transfer into the 2D classic style so that you're maybe destroying the island in multiple ways. Wouldn't that have been more considerate for the audience?
You're saying go down and go in?
Be able to flip from the top-down chiseling view to then 2D where you're digging. Maybe they could have done that and combined. Something to pay some kind of honor to the original game and not just pretend it didn't exist.
What was the price in the arcade? 25 cents?
Probably.
Oh, sure.
Generous.
Yeah, must have been nice.
I think it's on this page, Brad. Scroll down. You should turn off this notification.
Backseat
No,
Discording.
it was just doing sound, so I was trying to turn it off.
How's the music, Don? How's the sound effects?
You want to take a listen? I mean, I have it right here.
Absolutely.
35 seconds.
Oh, dang it. This is a catchy tune.
Yeah,
I forgot.
that's a 10.
Well, okay. The music is decent.
Yeah, this is all pretty good.
Death sound.
Can I
effect.
play more?
Well, I don't know that you want to. I mean, it's a very complicated
I mean,
game.
for research, right?
It's a complicated game.
I just got breathed fire. Dude, that guy breathed fire. That was pretty cool.
Well, they stole that from the original also.
That is a good tune. Don, do you like the mode do you like Super Mario Brothers 2 digging more than Dig Dug 2?
Last one.
I like Dig Dug 2.
That's a good.
As I
that's
said, but
good
as a
music.
sequel, that's the
Oh.
problem I have with it. It's as a sequel. As a sequel is why it's in the Hall of Shame. It's very specific why this thing needs to be in the Hall of Shame.
That's a good sound effect too.
Hit the escape button.
Let's turn this off. You get the idea.
Okay, I got it. Sorry. Sorry.
Now,
I turned up your desktop.
So you
notification.
see Brad has
We are
lost
done.
interest.
We are done.
That's it. That's it.
Brad
That's
has
it.
lost
That's it.
interest.
That's it.
Brad has lost interest.
No way. That looks fun.
The joystick's pretty bad.
Did we have a logo for that?
Oh yeah, let me put that up. Huber.
Cuba!
Next.
Lost interest on. Sick presentation. Loved
Yes,
it.
you
And a
could-
Yeah, no,
prop.
that was great.
I guess you could roll.
Good prop.
Actual interactivity.
Yeah. That's nice.
You ready to go now? Do you want me to make it small so you can see us?
Just small, yeah.
All right, what's Huber got?
Let me pull it up real quick.
This will be good.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
That's it. No audio.
Wait, is that it?
Yep. 100%. No audio needed. Alrighty.
Hold or like just wait forever to go full screen? What's happening? Full screen.
Stand
Stand by.
by.
Red 5 standing by.
Red 3 standing by.
Gold leader standing by.
Shout out to the Y-Wings in Rogue Squadron, dude. Bombing runs? Get
Yeah.
out of here. Get out of town.
There we go. Oh wait, hold. There we go.
Ready?
Hold.
Hold.
Mm-hmm.
Y-Wings, dude. Blue collar.
Okay, go. Good, Huber.
All right. I think it's safe to say that the movie Aliens has had the absolute biggest impact out of any movie ever made on video games. You see it all the time. You see it in the legendary franchise known as Halo. You see it in the legendary franchise known as Contra. You see it all over the place. That is why when Aliens Colonial Marines was going through development hell and then Gearbox picked it up, there was hope. There was absolute hope that they could produce a good Aliens video game. The way Pitchford came out pushing this game like this is gonna be the real deal, this is gonna be the Aliens. I mean, this is straight up pandering to everyone's nostalgia and everyone's fandom that loved this movie, and this was a decade ago, okay? He weaponized fandom and loyalty with this game. They got the original concept artist of James Cameron's Aliens to work on this game. I specifically remember one of the selling points was, hey, you get to see parts of the Sulaco that you couldn't see in the movie. Like, I'm the actual person that designed it all, and now we get to explore other areas. Yeah, let me tell you about this video game, if you can even call it that, okay? First up, I know it sounds crazy, okay? The AI, right? The simple fact of artificial intelligence, okay? These enemies come at you in a straight line, okay? These are xenomorphs. These are some of the most iconic anything in any medium, and I will stamp that. I will back that. That is not hyperbole. The alien xenomorph is one of the most recognizable, legendary, iconic creature that has ever been made. And fighting these things in this game is an absolute joke. They just run at you in straight lines. There's no strategy. There's no hunting. You even have the motion tracker, and it's completely pointless. You know? Think of Alien Isolation years later, one of the greatest games ever made. PC Gamer's Game of the Year. They got it right. Nobody else did. Alien Isolation, that alien hunts you down. You are being hunted, as you should be, by the xenomorphs. And in this game, they just run at you. Don't even get me started. I'm still bitter about the story and how it friggin' retcons everything. Hicks is alive on the planet. He was captured and interrogated. It is absolutely offensive. And the reason that this should be in the Hall of Fame, the reason that this stands above the others for being the worst of the worst, 2 big reasons. 1, because Aliens is so near and dear to so many people's hearts. Straight up. It is iconic, it is legendary, and the way they advertised it, like I said earlier, they weaponized nostalgia. This game sold over 1 million copies, and it's one of the worst video games ever made. To this day. One of the absolute worst. The second reason is because some games are so bad they're good. They're so bad that they can be memes, and they have, like, we get to poke fun at them. We can laugh about it. This game is so bad, it's bad. There is nothing redeeming. There's nothing funny about it. You go through this game just like with a deadpan face. There is absolutely nothing fun or funny about ruining one of the greatest properties that the world has ever seen, and that is James Cameron's Aliens. Now, before we get to the cross-examination, I will give a small shout-out to the multiplayer mode, which let us play as aliens versus humans. It was fine, but it wasn't nearly as good as Alien vs. Predator 1 or 2, which came out well before, a decade before this trash game. This is truly the I'm getting heated thinking about it because I was so excited. One of the worst.
Nope. That was funny.
I didn't bring up. God,
shut up.
Fuck. Shut up.
Someone might ask you about it.
Yeah. Huber, you said this game kind of like ruined the Alien franchise. You bring up retconning, big no-nos, all that stuff. But would you say the Alien franchise on itself is a mess with what it does in its story?
No. I love
Prometheus, whatever the other one was.
So there's technically 6 Alien movies, Alien 1 through 4 plus Prometheus 1 and 2. I love Alien 1 through 4. Prometheus has its moments. Alien Covenant is trash. That was the newest one, but that's all. That's all.
Okay.
Is this one specifically just based on Aliens?
I don't count
right?
AVP.
Or no? Doesn't this game pretty much just take place in the universe of Aliens? That specifically? That's it, right?
They weaponized the fandom. They 100% before this came out, they said this was canon to the franchise. Like weeks after Aliens, you're gonna get to see what happened after Aliens, before Alien 3. They made a huge deal about it, and that was malicious. It was absolutely malicious, and it was a friggin' tactic to sell more copies of this game, which they did. They sold over 1 million copies of this shit-ass game.
Huber, I remember The Force Unleashed did the same thing. Would you say that was a pretty common marketing tactic for companies when they had established IPs?
You're not wrong, Brad. It is a marketing tactic.
Right.
It is a tactic.
But it's bad faith.
It is bad faith. It is a tactic. It's not the only game that has done it.
Huber, are you saying there were no just raw thrills even in that game? Did none of the weapons feel safe? Because I gotta say, just looking at the footage, there's an authenticity to everything visually.
So the
like
sights,
you said.
the sights, The sounds are good. The graphics are terrible when you get into the game. They're absolutely terrible.
Okay.
They were terrible at the time as well.
Yeah.
Visually, I guess it technically looks like Aliens.
But it doesn't feel good just lighting them up with the flamethrower just over and over, even in a cheap thrill kind of way.
Because it's lifeless AI that comes at you.
Yeah.
Your soldiers will just stand there blankly. Other enemies will stand there blankly. Someone like 5 or 6 years later had to change an error in the code to fix some of the AI years later because this game shipped so poorly. It's offensive.
Yikes.
Huber, how do you feel about them selling a season pass for DLC before the game was released? And was the DLC actually good?
There was one good DLC mode, and that also, Damiani, thanks for bringing that up. That's offensive because one of the things in the DLC was the Horde mode, which is what you would expect in an Aliens game. Taking on hordes of aliens. Yeah, that was paywalled. That was pay extra for that, Gearbox. Appreciate that.
That wasn't included in the season pass?
That was in the season pass that you had to pay for if you bought the game.
But it was DLC, right?
It was DLC.
So they added it later?
They added it later.
Like every other DLC? They added it later?
No,
The
I'm
good
just
mode?
saying if you bought this game, you were not able to play the one mode that made sense for an Aliens game, and that is fighting endless waves of xenomorphs. That should have been standard.
included.
Unless you pay more.
Right?
Yes. That should have been included. That should have been standard.
It was called Bug Hunt, which is
Good
a
name,
cool
good name.
Did you get to play the last one, Huber?
No, I
Because the
dipped
last one apparently explains how Hicks survives between Aliens and Alien 3. Like they actually made it a prequel
Yeah,
DLC.
there was like some look-alike. It's the most offensive retcon story ever. In Alien 3, spoilers, like a character is not there, and then they were like, ha ha ha, it was a look-alike. It actually wasn't him. Like, terrible story.
Wow.
Completely shit on Aliens fans, and they knew they could get away with it. This game was in development hell for years, and they knew. They knew. They're like, yo, let's just hype it. Also, you want to talk about Puddlegate, Spider-Man Puddlegate.
Is this a question?
This game was downgraded visually hard when it came out. All the pre-release trailers were manipulated. They looked better than the final product. This game was... It's a conspiracy, man.
But with the whole nonsense thing about the code having a typo that screwed up the AI, do you think that it actually was in a better state and then somehow it got broken in a rush?
Why did no one play it?
I mean, I have not gone back to it since I heard about that. I mean,
so it could have got better.
It would have had to do a lot to be better.
There it is. There it is.
Very nice.
I'm upset. I'm upset
Take a
about
deep
it.
breath.
I'm upset about it. I was so hyped.
Your franchise is a mess.
I was so hyped for that game. Oh my god. Unreal hype.
Yeah, so Don, with this video,
Getting worked up.
it's a little bit on the long side, so you can like start it like a minute in. When I get going.
Book of Blood's coming out.
Do you want it to be no sound and small so we can see you?
Right. Yeah. No, I don't need the sound from the video. Although if I have the time, there's a sound up that will try to find, but it's fine. So let me know when you're ready, and then.
Let's see what Blood's got.
Okay. I don't think
It's gonna be intense.
Yeah.
play it.
It's gonna be the day before now.
GT review from Blood.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. So skip to a minute in if you can.
Shout out to the website known as GameTrailers.com.
There it is.
Sonic games are often met with split
Sonic
reactions
Boom,
with
Rise of
detractors
Lyric.
and defenders
It came out
alike.
for the Wii
Yet it's hard
U.
to imagine just who would
And
vouch
it's
for
one of the
Sonic Boom,
lowest
Rise of
scoring
Lyric.
games,
It's
I've
hard
ever
to even
reviewed.
consider the final game
This
a
is one of
finished
those
product.
games where sometimes you hear about it, but it's kind of like
To set the
nothing.
stage, Sonic
But
and
this
Pals
was
are
for
sidetracked
real.
from their usual
Sega sent
confrontations
this
with
out
Eggman
late,
when they stumble
so it
across an
didn't get
ancient
reviewed.
serpentine villain known as Lyric, accidentally unleashing him upon the modern world.
There it is. Okay. And so I had to review this. There's no way I was going to let Sega off the hook with this bad game coming in after launch. And, you know, they had a whole media tie-in with this. There was another portable game. There was a whole TV cartoon and all this stuff going on. And then they just stuck this thing out in the wild for parents to get it and not have any idea how bad of a thing, an unfinished mess that they were getting. And that was the main thing. Is it just in many ways it feels unfinished. It feels like it launched when it launched because of a contract with the TV studio, and it should have had another year in the oven. And it does this thing that we saw when we played. Those of you that were here for when we played the Grinch game, when you're just wandering around, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, here's a cutscene. Oh, all of a sudden there's a cutscene. Characters actually comment on how bad the gameplay is at times. They will just be like, oh, I'm getting kind of tired of this. Oh, there's another wave of these guys, huh? That kind of thing. Just to like drive it home how bad the experience you're having is. For a Sonic game, you want a good frame rate. You do not get it. The frame rate goes from bad to worse in a lot of areas. It's particularly bad camera for platforming a lot of the times. You just miss jumps because you can't get the camera in a good space for it. There's a lot of pop-in problems as you're going around, not just in the environment, things just jumping in and hooking in. This thing is funny. They make the dumbest tips. So Sonic goes like, oh, there's a ramp ahead. And then Tails says, this looks like we can use this for a ramp. Just like mind-numbing kind of gameplay tips for things that you don't need. Sometimes when you're running around, you have your companions beside you, but they can't quite keep up, so it just kind of keeps like teleporting them behind you, and they'll fall behind and they'll teleport, and they'll fall behind and they'll teleport, and you just kind of see this like popping kind of weird nonsense. And then, whenever you start going fast, it's just like, it just falls apart, and this frame rate chugging down, plus the pop-in, sometimes you don't even know what you're supposed to avoid. You just take damage, and you're like, oh, okay, I just have to memorize where the hard parts are going to be here, because I just went around a corner, and I got hit, and yeah, it was about here, like, what? What happened? I don't know why I just died there. Whoa. I have no idea. The combat in general is really messy. There is a lot of like inconsistency with the dodging and stuff like that. It doesn't feel like it does you any good to try to dodge. There is this Knuckles exploit that was in the game where you could just pause and unpause and gain infinite height with a special attack and completely just like jump into areas that you're not supposed to be in.
Oh my god.
Damiani's pleased.
Damiani's taking notes.
There were audio bugs to where some cutscenes were just playing just raw static. This thing where you think Sonic and Tails were talking is like, no, it's just hissing noises. There was nothing else. You couldn't hear anything. The music is entirely on Sonic-like and doesn't make any sense. It's just this weird, sleepy, like, village music, even when you're fighting a bunch of guys. There's no speed to it. There's no fun, like, rock concert. It's like, nope, just gonna be bored here. There's a huge town hub here where they made this giant town and they didn't put anyone in it. It's just this empty ghost town for no real particular story reason other than it's just unfinished. There was a kind of cool idea with the co-op where you could put the other person on the gamepad, but then the game can't keep up on it, so you just fall through the floors and stuff, which hopefully we will see in the next 10 seconds because we're just about done. And then there were just like a bunch of awful, worthless 4-player minigames that you're just not going to see. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Perfect for the ending. This is what happens in 2-player co-op. The end.
Nice. Blood, is this the worst Sonic game around?
Ooh. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm having a hard time. I mean, Sonic 06 is pretty close contender, but it might still be worse than Sonic 06. It's hard because I wasn't in a position where I had to play all of Sonic 06, so I noped out of that thing. Whereas this, I had to keep going.
Blood, Sonic has a very deep lore. Are there any redeeming qualities to the characterization in Sonic Boom? Did we learn anything about Sonic and his crew that we didn't know ahead of time?
No, because this is all the spin-off with the TV show and stuff. They were doing this whole thing that kind of didn't matter. And like I said, like a lot of the dialogue was just like kind of silly, worthless stuff about...
Just throw away.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and like I said, there was a lot of things in there that we had some good sound-ups in there. Where we could... The game is kind of making fun of itself at times and had not earned it.
Blood, one of the most important things about any Sonic games is going fast. How is the sense of speed in this game?
Awful, because the frame rate would go bog down to like 10 frames per second. So, yeah.
What about the bonus stage? Were there bonus stages at all that you were...
I don't really...
I didn't see any in that video.
Yeah, I don't really think so. Damiani, get Damiani in here.
What's up? Oh, like questions?
Yeah, you seem to want to jump in.
Would you say... Yeah, would you say this is a cautionary tale because this game was originally two things. As you already pointed out, it was greenlit after the show was like greenlit. So this was like a afterthought to the show. So you think that hurt this game's development? Also, this game was meant to be on other platforms, but then that Wii U exclusivity deal, this became part of it, and they couldn't get this game to run on Wii U because of the engine. What was it? Like whatever engine was on couldn't run on the Wii U. So is this like the most cautionary tale Sonic game? Because the other Sonic games, I feel were like just bad for being bad, but this had like other woes going on for that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of unneeded shade thrown at the developer when this came out, and I think it was a management problem. Like you're saying, they were put on a deadline that didn't make sense, and so somebody just had to rubber stamp that okay, it's ready, when it's clearly very far from being ready to be put out. And it was clear they didn't have the time to nail down what would make the gameplay good in a lot of cases.
Blood, tell me about Lyric.
Tell me about Lyric.
Here's
the thing.
In the title of this game.
This is the villain in Lyric.
Yeah, how is Lyric?
I don't remember Lyric at all. Completely blasted from my memory. I don't know what I didn't have a reason to put him in the review. I went back and I watched the review, of course, before this. But
is it a
it's the villain.
Oh.
But
what animal is it?
Some reptile, probably.
A reptile?
yeah,
Blood.
it's entirely unneeded.
Is this the Sonic game where they changed Sonic's arm color and everyone freaked out? Is it this one?
Arm.
I don't know. That does not sound familiar to me, but it could
As
be.
a reviewer, Blood, tisk.
Huber asked about speed, but sorry, I was reading something real quick. This game's initial development was supposed to be a more of a Jack and Daxter like game. Do you think it was, at least in that trajectory going towards that, or do you think it didn't even elicit some of those feelings of a Jack and Daxter type game?
I mean, it was trying to do that with the tether thing and the way the combat was set up towards a lot of, and I mean, but that's sort of weird, right? Just mashing a bunch of goons is Sonic. It doesn't feel very Sonic to just okay, here's an arena battle. You're stuck on this elevator until you kill all the goons. And like I said, it was just alternate between regular attacks and homing attacks, and the dodge doesn't help because there's too many enemies. You just get smashed anyways. I don't know. There's some attempt at it, but again, the platforming was bad because the camera was bad.
Did the side-scrolling perspective make you nostalgic for Sega Genesis?
No. Not at all. There it is.
That's funny.
All right, I gotta get all the cans and stuff.
All right, everybody, those are...
So get your chatting.
Damiani has to send me secretly his votes. Is that how it's gonna work, or how are we gonna put the?
Yeah, I'll have to send you his votes.
You can send them to me.
Or Gabby.
That's a good idea.
Oh, okay.
Gabby.
Yeah, then we can.
Then
give
Gabby could put
some-
him in.
some chips.
Yeah, text me, Damiani, or
So
DM me.
everyone needs 6.
Yeah. Chad, if any of you are confused while Final Fantasy 14 is on there, it's because it's 1.0 version
Regular,
of the game.
before Realm Reborn.
Before Realm Reborn, 1.0.
Dude, I played the beta, and then I scrubbed out.
Of Realm Reborn?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
regular.
Oh, regular. Yeah.
Regular. Then I
Good
never
job.
played again.
You got lucky.
Yeah.
It's a blessing.
Thank you.
Headphones off.
Starfish says, Gabby, what would have been your pick?
What would have been your pick?
I don't know.
Red Dead 2?
Yeah.
I mean, you could. That's the question to ask at the end.
Oh, and here's 6.
No, what would be my nomination?
Oh,
Thing.
what you would bring.
What she would bring, yeah.
I was thinking about GTA Definitive Edition, but honestly,
It's pretty trash.
it's not as terrible.
I would
as
rather
those
play
games.
GTA than
We'd
most
probably
of those
put
games.
in
Yeah. I'll go over here.
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne?
I'd bring Bloodborne.
No, not. I wouldn't put
There's
in
a
Bloodborne.
tape you want to check.
Tennis bone!
Tennis ball!
Wait, Beaver didn't hear you.
Tennis boat? Yeah,
Damiani just went, tennis bone.
Tennis bone!
Nice.
It's so good.
What would I put in? I don't know.
Every time now I'm gonna get to that part, I'm gonna think tennis bone.
What part of the game is that?
The very end.
Oh, it's at the end.
The very end of the game.
I was telling Matan about that this weekend. He was in town. And I said, tennis bone. And I kept saying it. And he was like chuckling like he understood. And then I was like, do you know where that's from? And he's like, no. I just thought you were saying something weird.
Inside
I
Joe.
think it's in the low honor ending. No spoilers. But I
Oh,
think it's
really?
I think it's in the low honor one.
Well, then I'll probably never see it.
Yeah.
Tennis boat.
It's impossible to play Arthur low honor.
It's
so hard.
It's so hard.
In the beginning, it's easy. The very beginning. The very beginning of the game.
Yeah, but also you start right in the middle, right?
But for the first like 10 hours of Red Dead 2, I'm a psycho.
From the tutorial.
I'm a ruthless murderer. Yeah.
By the way, Jones is a casual. I showed him my tattoo and he was like, what is that? Casual.
Wow.
He's just a dad, right?
Casual.
He's a dad. He's a dad. He's
Casual Jones.
Damiani just said, casual Jones.
Casual Jones.
Actually, that's a fun idea because I think sometimes people like figure out things. Like if we like did a little shuffle after
Yeah,
we put
little
our chips
shuffle.
in. Yeah.
Little shuffle. Little truffle shuffle.
So, what's the rules?
Yeah, so each can is representing the game. What each person is now going to come in here and talk about their votes, but without revealing which they're doing first, second, and third.
Right.
First gets 3, second gets 2, third gets.
So what can
So
you say?
So you can talk about the games, but you can't say which ones.
Yeah.
Your what your number is.
Yeah,
But you can say what you're voting for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But not like I'm giving 3 to this or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also cannot vote for your own game.
I mean, I'm not doing anything.
I'm just letting chat know.
You're just doing what Damiani tells you to do.
Yeah. But I can't come in here and be like, 3 for this game, 2 for this game.
I think it's crazy that you go to a baseball game now and you know the hat shuffle? It used to be like 3 hats. Now it's like 9 hats.
Oh.
So I think that I think about that. Like, are they saying humans were just dumber like 20 years ago? That it was just 3 hats? Like, why is it 9 now?
Well, when someone's like doing that on the boardwalk or
Yeah.
whatever, like it's a scam.
3-card money, of course.
It's
Yeah,
a scam.
Yeah. But it's crazy. Now it's 9 hats.
I mean,
And everyone always knows. Everyone's like, yo, number 2. Number 2. That's number 2.
I don't think it's meant to trick people. I think they want you to win.
They do, but like, why is it 9 now?
Just to change it up, maybe? I don't know.
It's crazy.
Just
All right.
They have more faith in us.
We need to get out of here so Gabby can give Damiani's votes.
Or Damiani's first. Okay. Store's closing. I got your message, Damiani.
Cool. All right, we good to go?
I think so.
All right. Well, the games that will be getting my chips. Uh, uh, Obviously with fewer, it's a little weird. It's like can't pick your own, and there's like only four others to pick from, and so yeah. So the three that are getting it are gonna be Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric. That game does suck really bad. Um, Aliens, Colonial Marines, because it also sucks really bad. And Huber's passion about how, as a huge fan, and how offended, how heartbroken, how disillusioned it left them because it was considered canon. And then yeah, just like seeing a Zelda game and the Wanna Gamble and just like beat down Brad. Like when you see Brad get beaten down by any game, that doesn't work. Especially a Zelda game. Brad beats back the Zelda games, man. So yeah, I felt the frustration there. I was there. I witnessed the frustration, but hearing it again reminded me. I didn't. I understand Don's argument for Dig Dug 2, but Brad letting the hands-on was a mistake. Brad showed some joy when playing it. Huber thought it looked cool. The music was sounding pretty good. Just cause it's different doesn't mean it's bad. And I don't know, Don. Think that one might have been a little too personal to Dawn. So that's it. Those are the three that are getting it: Sonic, Zelda, Aliens.
Good job. Who's next?
After me was Brad.
Okay.
I'm just gonna count the votes. This is just dumb. Oh no, I don't know. Never mind, I can't do it. All right, I'm tuning out. Bye.
All right, chat. Sorry, me and Huber were yelling about Sin's Fortress. Okay, so what a selection of games we got here today. Sonic Boom, Dig Dug, Final Fantasy, lots of good stuff. I don't know, chat. I don't know if I want to say what I'm gonna vote for. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, bye.
Alrighty then. What do we have here? My chips. My missing chips. Boy, oh boy, what a selection. Alright, so I'm voting for. Look, Huber loves Aliens. I gotta admit, everything I saw on screen during that video looked pretty good to me. It looked like Aliens. It looked like the guns, the weapons, the locale, everything you could want. But at the same time, Huber's presentation was filled with an unbelievable amount of passion. Look at Damiani with his cat up there. And I believe him. I was raw emotion coming out of Huber and some vitriol, which I haven't seen in quite a while. And in regards to, James Cameron property, the way he felt that was manipulated and used in a cheap sort of way, I can feel that pain because that's been done with many properties I love. And it's an unforgivable and shameful act. So I am going to, one of my votes will be for Alien Marines, will be in there. Not too many choices. again, Brad with his presentation on Wand of Gamelon, very passionate, and he stood his ground, which was really impressive because you'd think you'd be able to enjoy the, so bad it's good kind of thing, and he didn't fall for that. So I gotta believe him that those games are really that bad, even though I still want to play it. I guess I did play it a little bit. It wasn't that bad, was it? I thought I had some fun with it. But it was a heck of a presentation. This is tough. How do I do it? I don't know. Both presentations were really good for Damiani and Sonic Boom and Final Fantasy. I only have my last voting game is going to go to... there's been so much terribleness in Sonic's franchise history. For something to stand out like this for Blood, where he doesn't even remember that Lyric is a reptile, I think that's what it takes. Alright, that's it.
Okay. Yo, 10 p.m. probably streaming God of War chat. Just so you know, just gonna plug that right here. 10 o'clock ish, Pacific time, give or take. Okay, so, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna be Dig Dug 2, cause that shit looked fun. Sorry, Don. Sorry, bro. I'm also. I guess I have to vote for 3 games. So I guess I can't vote for just one. Okay. Alright. Final Fantasy is kind of a Resident Evil 6 situation for me, where what came after is so good that I give it some sort of retroactive respect. You know what I mean? Zelda is definitely a dark spot on a near flawless franchise. Absolutely. It is this weird outlier, but also I kind of appreciate that, I guess. I don't know. That's funny. Just some weird thing. We need more of that in this industry, honestly. We need more Resident Evil dead aims and outbreaks and survivors. Like, take a shot. Take a shot. Do it. And then Sonic Boom is like one of 3 Sonic games I have not finished because it is so infamous, which is unfortunate. I cannot speak to it personally, which sucks, because I make a point to be caught up in the Sonic universe. But Sonic Boom is on my least favorite console ever made. Shots. Yo, come on, Chad. You know, Wii U is the worst console ever made. I'm putting it on bottom 3. I'm putting Wii U on bottom 3. Shots. Hot takes. I do not like Wii U. Sonic Boom. Thank you. Okay, good, chat. All right, good. It has Bayonetta 2, which is one of the greatest games ever made. I wish this was Hall of Greats, and I could put all 6 of my chips into Bayonetta 2. I wish. I would. I'd break the rules. I'd rig the ballot box. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. Just Dig Dug is just not getting my votes.
Thanks, chat. See you tonight.
All right, chat. I'm the last one. I'm gonna shuffle. All right. All right. So, vote crunch. Which is chat even supposed to be up? I think chat is supposed to be off. Anyway, so I'll look straight ahead. Her picks. Let's see. Maybe we'll go with eliminations. Dig Dug 2, I was not convinced. Don even said it was a great game. I don't understand why Dig Dug 2 is in this conversation. I don't. I guess it just didn't do what Don wanted it to do. It's just the way it is. Aliens this is what one of these things is hard is like I have not played Aliens Colonial Marines and I definitely did not play Final Fantasy 14 1.0. So it's just those are very much the imagine that they're bad. Definitely have heard the stories, the grifting of Aliens Colonial Marines. Hey, much like this week's headlines. But yeah, even from that little bit of footage, Final Fantasy 14 is definitely sticking out there. Definitely sticking out. I played Zelda. Man, you know the stuff that Brad didn't say about Zelda, like just the nonsense, like the adventure game logic nonsense of trying to figure out even where to go next without a guide it's just freaking awful. Come on, man. What is this game design? And then like no feedback on things like the bombs. Ugh. So bad. Yeah, I think those are gonna be my three. I think that's it. It's gonna be Aliens and Final Fantasy and Zelda. And now I gotta figure out the numbers. The numbers for those. Let us. Okay. It's tough. There it is. All right, I'm gonna go with everybody else. Come back to me. Come on back, everybody.
Oh boy.
Bring the cans for Don.
Who will be the biggest losers tonight?
The biggest losers, yeah, that's true.
Who will win gaming's least prestigious award?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have these up now.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
You can just like make like a notepad doc or something like that. Yeah. Make sure it doesn't go on screen. And then to get your headphones back, Damiani can maybe coach you through how he likes to do his reveal.
The reveal. The Damiani reveal special.
Oh, I don't have the.
Reveal.
Whoever's doing the counting is doing the reveal, right?
Oh, sure, if you want.
Bloodworth, as an industry professional, since E3 doesn't exist anymore, where will Shenmue 4 be announced?
Oh.
Yeah, where will they do it?
Q3s.
Damiani, you want me to just send you the
At
numbers?
Q3.
Game Awards?
No.
Sure.
Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, it could be Summer Game Fest or it could be Gamescom.
Dude, it'll be Peter Molyneux's next game.
Stop.
The reveal.
Stop.
Peter Molyneux.
It's a Gamescom.
And
hey, we're ready
Brady
to
Pitchford team up to present Shenmue 4. Weaponize that fandom. Weaponize it.
Bro, that'd be alarming.
it could be during a Day of the Dead.
What's that Bible quote? No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No alien property.
Some good quotes in there.
Let's see.
The Bible?
Yeah, some good quotes.
Dude, if Shenmue was
Oh,
announced
Sean Murray's new game.
out of Wendy's outside the Game Awards, that'd be kind of sick, actually.
That would be sick.
I'd be into that.
Guerrilla marketing?
There it is.
That'd be sick.
I got it.
Yo!
Woo!
Now the wing is lit up.
That's sick.
Dude, there we go. That's what I thought. That's sick.
Oh, hell yeah.
Does he have an ass?
He's like thrusting out.
Yeah, he's thrusting.
But he has a little bit of a butt.
There's a
He's
little
got a little
there.
bit. You can see some cheek.
Yeah. How about the bulge?
The detail on his
Stop.
pants, though.
Feel, Huber.
Look at this. Look at
Feel
this.
physical.
Look at this demon on his pants, Hubert.
More than on his pants.
Sorry?
You mean in his pants?
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rick, are you inviting me to the party in the pants?
Are you okay?
Just giving chat what they want, what they're all thinking.
Don ruined him.
Perverts.
True.
Chat, before stream, we were talking about how no character in Fortnite has a butt, and how wrong that is, how sick and twisted that is.
Yeah.
Hey, Gabby dropped her phone.
Dawn's fanfic was triple X.
Open your mind. It was dirty.
It was
I
dirty.
think I
Could've
put
been
my
dirty.
mind in a state where it could follow along without intaking.
Yeah, Blood, you stone
Blood,
faced
you
that entire
zoned
thing.
out.
It was a
You
so
blacked
insane.
out, dude.
You did not crack
Damiani
yet.
is ready to make the announcement.
Flat male butts is a widespread problem in video games. Yes, it is. It's an epidemic.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Destigmatize male asses.
Give me a butt and a bulge in a game, please.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blood's like, what are we talking about here?
Oh,
I want
Don said that
representation.
Damiani was ready, but then Damiani didn't say anything.
All right.
Fugue state.
So
All right. I've got it. We are good.
Excellent.
Wait a sec. Hang on. 21, 24, 31. Wait, what's
Like the lack of ass.
five
think more.
times 6 is 30. How do I have 31 votes
Did
here?
someone get an extra chip?
Oh!
Whoa.
I had 6 chips.
I used all the chips
Yeah,
I was
there's
given.
there's 31 votes here, but there's only 6 times 5 is
I
30.
used all the chips I was
That
given.
is shady.
Well, it doesn't make a difference, though. I don't think it makes a difference.
Okay.
All the-
It could make a
no,
difference.
But does it?
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does actually.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, we need to be 2
Why
chips
did we-
to make
make
a
a
difference.
difference.
Chat,
I
go
realize
back
it's a
and
bad idea of letting Don have the game.
Chat, you got to go back and listen to the clinks. Who did it?
But we shuffled
Who did
everything.
It? No, but you'll hear the one, blink, blink, blink of the drop. You'll hear 7.
Yeah.
Someone did 7.
Yeah.
Well, no one snuck in. They were just handed them
Yeah.
the chips.
It seems
There would
unmalicious.
have to be 32 chips for there to be enough
been me.
variance for there to be an
Could've been
issue.
you.
So we're fine. We're fine. Well, the mystery chip can
Don
stay in.
second
It does not
account.
change
Don
anything.
second account.
Blinker.
We got a recount.
Yep. Yep.
It was the Gabby vote.
Just a little wild card. Spice it up.
Yeah, it's Hall of
Maybe
Shame.
someone
Yeah,
maybe
it's
someone
all
accidentally somebody could have accidentally had 7 chips.
Yeah.
Storm
Hall
the
of shame.
Storm the easy alley.
We want that level of chaos.
Don counted right?
Yep.
Okay, well, It is what it is, I guess.
All right.
I don't think it's gonna make a
Hall of
difference.
Shame.
The only person it would make a difference for is last.
Don't say it.
Last place, he said.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's get those results.
All right, here we go. Are you ready? As usual, we do this in reverse order. So we're going to start with the lowest first, and then we go up until we get to the top 3, and then we'll reveal first place, and then who got the coveted last slot between second and third. Because we only have 5 games, this is a little less dramatic. So here we go. There's bad news, I guess.
Oh, something's getting cut.
Dig Dug 2 got 0
Dig Dug
votes.
2.
So
It looked way too fun,
Hall of
man.
Shame games for a
I wanna
year.
play
Does
right
that
now.
even work? Like,
Can't bring it back next year, Don.
Okay.
Gotta wait a year.
yeah. So next
Oh, yeah,
year
gotta
you
wait
can't
2
bring
years.
Dig Dug 2. We only do this once a year, so it doesn't even like kind of matter. But whatever.
We'll forget.
All right. Yeah. Well, like I mean, it'll be eligible next time if we do it like
Yeah,
this date or
Ryan's
later.
a hog, honestly.
I think we had some punishment. We thought about it.
That's a good one.
I might vote for it, too.
All right. Coming in 4th place with 3 votes, Final Fantasy XIV version 1.0, which means our top 3 are Aliens, Colonial Marines, Zelda: The Wand of Gamelon, and Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric. All right. Our first inductee getting the most chips with allegedly 12 chips. 'Cause, you know, again, there could be 1 chip off here. Allegedly 12 chips.
12 stars.
Aliens Colonial
Yay!
Marines takes top
There it is.
place
Fucking
for
terrible
shame.
game.
Oh.
Fucking terrible.
Which means our
Embarrassing.
What I didn't get to
What?
bring up was the worst boss fight truly in video game history. You fight a queen, it's the worst. It's the worst. Chat knows it's the worst. That's all. That's
Nice.
all. That's all.
which means only Zelda or Sonic
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
remains. With a final count of 9 to 7, 9 chips
very
to
close.
7 chips. Our second Hall of Shame inductee is Zelda: The Wand of Gamelon.
Zelda.
That was close.
That was close.
Is Sonic game
Ow!
going fast as a detriment, man? Come on.
Now they will be banished to the Shadow Realm to
Yeah.
never emerge again. That's it.
Dang.
Oh, thank you so much, chat. Yeah, so we do this once a year. We do Hall of Greats every 3-ish, 4-ish months, depending on how the schedule lays out. So be on the lookout. Watch the schedule on EasyAllies.com for when that might pop up. But it will be during a group stream night, whenever we do it. Yeah, and then we got some fun stuff that have gone up. We got this Tekken 8 preview and interview that went up this morning. Don Casanova went with me to play Tekken 8, and that was a good time. It was really great to have Don on the desk
Hell
talking
yeah.
about that game with me.
Fun.
Yeah.
Blood, I appreciate more than anything you facilitating the patrons' dysfunctional families.
Yeah.
You know, you spread the word
I mean,
on
the
their
timing was
behalf,
perfect.
and I love that.
The timing was perfect.
Yeah.
And
Incredible.
I brought questions too from patrons as well. I got to ask one patron question, but it's one of those things like when you're dealing with translation back and forth, it's
Right.
like everything's 3 times as long.
Yeah,
as
it takes a
it
long
should
time.
be, So
Yeah, it does.
I only got to throw one patron question in there.
Definitely.
And then we also had Day of the Devs preview yesterday that went up with me and Isla. We played 17 games.
Wow, that's a lot.
At Day of the Devs. A lot of cool little things in there that you probably haven't heard of. Horses. Yeah.
Horses? Can I bet on the horses?
Can you ride
Maybe
a
you
horse?
can, but you should
Why don't
you
just
should
check
look
it
at
out?
you should look at horses.
Just check out that video they put
Just
up.
see
Okay.
what that game is about.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we've got a couple more previews coming up this week, so keep an eye out for that.
Oh.
We will also be tomorrow.
I'm streaming tonight.
Hubert tonight.
God of War. I'm streaming God of War tonight when I
Sometime
get home.
tonight when he gets
Sometime
home.
tonight. I gotta get home. I gotta eat. I probably gotta shower, have some coffee. I'm going to Valhalla, chat.
Yes.
And then he'll be coming to the studio because he's on Community Showcase tomorrow.
Yes.
And then they're shooting reaction shots tomorrow as well.
Yes. Blood, I might stream the Final Fantasy DLC because I have not gotten it to it yet.
Okay.
Because I was in a Final Fantasy mode playthrough and I was not at the point to get there. So I've been making my way there. So if I get to it on time, I will stream it for everybody. I know Damiani did, so if you want to
Damiani
see
did
it,
that whole thing, right?
If you want to see Damiani stream it too, he already did it. You can check that out also.
Nice. Thursday, I believe it's at noon.
Yes, it is.
We're shooting the podcast. So we're actually shooting 3 episodes this week. The first one will be streamed. The other ones you'll have to wait. But yeah, so this week's podcast will be at noon Pacific time. So watch out for that because it will be much earlier than you used to.
Good for the probably people in Europe or something.
Yeah, that should be great. Look out for that BAFTA tweet and what comes out of that. That's a fun time.
Yeah, please watch that BAFTA video. Let them know you love us. So then maybe we can do this more often. Partner with BAFTA's more often. It's a sick opportunity.
Yeah.
So,
and like many things, they just had somebody there that's been watching us for a long time.
Also shocked at people in the comments who are low-key famous that know who we are. The creator of Amphibia or whatever.
That's the whole thing.
We knew that?
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh.
But I'm just saying, like when I went to the Game Awards, I was standing around for 9 hours and stuff, talking to everybody I could possibly talk to. Most of the conversations I did not initiate because I'm just like a giant lightning rod walking through the crowd.
You're like a lighthouse.
You should carry one of those flags, like tourist flags.
Yeah, I had like a cinematic guy from Larian walk up and talk to me for a while. I had Remedy people talking to me for a while. I had Naughty Dog people, like all these people that are all over the place that like what we do. So that's really fun to be able to get out there and meet folks. And also, schedule of weirdness. Next Monday will be Frame Trap recording, live streaming, and group stream will be Monday as well.
Also Fast and Loose.
And Fast and Loose, yeah.
Yeah, those will be my final days, chat, here. So show up. It's gonna be a good time.
Be here.
Be here.
Good stuff.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much. Get yourself some food and drinks and get ready for when Heber gets home for that late night.
That's going to be a good stream, chat.
God of War.
Tune in. You can stay awake.
Good night, everybody.